dead. The project to protect Hindus from ethnic cleansing in Kashmir isn't an easy one. We all thought that after the scrapping of Article 370, Hindus would be able to breathe easier, that they would feel more secure, as Article 370, of course, was an impediment to their integration. In fact, it was an impediment to the full sociological, psychological, emotional, and physical integration of the state of Jammu and Kashmir too. The government was confident that with more and more Islamist terrorists being eliminated and with more of their sympathizers being identified, the ecosystem of bigotry would be dismantled. While the army and the state have scored some massive victories, rattled by the onslaught, the Islamists have cowardly begun to target defenseless, especially from the Hindu community. The government is responding to this cowardice by reviving village defense committees meant to provide another layer of cover to ordinary residents, especially to Hindus, viewers. Retired servicemen and locals are being reappointed to village defense committees. Weapons will be given to them to stave off terrorists until the army arrives. It's because of this that Bal Krishna, viewers, the hero of a week ago, was able to use his .303 rifle to fire back at terrorists when his village in Rajouri was attacked recently. Children, if you recall, viewers, children were also killed here after terrorists examined the Aadhaar card of the residents, determining who were the Hindus before opening fire. The death toll could have been much higher had Bal Krishna not fought back. Viewers, Bal Krishna used his gun after almost a quarter of a century. But let me tell you, viewers, Bal Krishna's right to fight back is now being grudged. Yes. While Islamist terrorists like Burhan Wani are celebrated for picking up the gun because they are supposedly alienated enough from the Indian state to strike back, there is a concerted effort to ensure that Bal Krishnas and other Hindus of the valley are denied the right to defend themselves. Viewers, the usual suspects are leading the criticism against the constitution of these village defense committees. Mehbooba Mufti has called the revival of village defense groups part of the BJP saffron agenda aimed at sowing the seed of discord among Hindu and Muslims. Viewers, we can all tonight lament the fact that we have had to arm civilians to defend themselves when it should be the state that should be overwhelmingly ensuring that these people are secure in their homes. But such is the nature, the capricious nature, the cowardly nature of terrorists, that when they lose or are about to lose ground to the state, they usually divert their energies into targeting the softest available community. In this case, of course, Hindus. Viewers, I want you to listen in now to what some of these individuals who today don't believe that Hindus have a right to life, perhaps, I don't know why else they would be opposing such a move, are saying. Listen to what they're saying, viewers.
मेरा ये कहने का मकसद है कि ये जो ये सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस सीआरपीएफ बटालियंस और लाने की बात कर रहे हैं, लोगों को एसएलआर देने की बात कर रहे हैं, दूसरे हथियार देने की बात कर रहे हैं, इससे मसला तो हल नहीं होगा, बल्कि जो बीजेपी का जो उनका अपना मकसद है, जो उनका अपना एजेंडा है, दो फिरकों में नफरत फैलाने का, एक जंगी माहौल तैयार करना, यहाँ बाई को बाई के साथ लड़ाना, उससे वही जो है वही सिचुएशन यहाँ बन जाएगी.
Viewers, it's bizarre, isn't it? It's bizarre. Instead of actually taking on the Islamists who actually sowed the seeds of mistrust in Kashmir about 30 years ago, Mehbooba Mufti is pinning the entire onus now on defenseless Hindus. And a government that is at least trying to narrow the gap between its own ability to protect the citizens and, of course, viewers, the citizens' right to life. As I mentioned, this shocker from Mehbooba Mufti comes just days after terrorists unleashed mayhem in Rajouri's Dangri village and killed over 7 innocents, including children and women. I told you how they examined everyone's Aadhaar card, and when they were able to confirm that the people they were talking to Hindus, they took them aside and they started killing them. Naturally, patriotic Indians have criticized Mehbooba Mufti and other Kashmiri leaders for their opposition to the new policy. We have several other reactions of Kashmiri leaders coming out and saying that this is a step in the wrong direction, etc., etc. But listen in to the political fight that has broken out. The BJP obviously is defending the central government's decision to reconstitute these village defense committees. Listen in.
सब सरकार में रहे थे तो हिंदुओं की जब हत्या हुई है तो तब आप नहीं रोक पाए ना, रोकने का संकल्प लेकर आए हैं कि कश्मीर में बाहर की आतंकवादी गतिविधियों पर लगाम लगाने के लिए अगर ऐसे गलत कामों को रोकने के लिए फोर्स एक्शन लगाई जाएगा तो क्या बुराई होगी। वो यही चाहती है कि हिंदुओं की हत्या होती रहे, महबूबा ये चाहती है, इसलिए वो फोर्स लगाई।
Mehbooba Mufti should stop giving obnoxious, rather bizarre statements on VDCs. And if she has to do anything, why don't she come out with a statement against Pakistan? Why she's having soft corner for that Napak country, for that terrorist sponsoring country? Why she and Umar Abdullah didn't have a courtesy to give a single statement against the terrorist sponsoring country, and that is Pakistan? Now she's trying to play the communal card. She should abstain from doing such a thing.
Viewers, I don't need to tell you why in fact there is a need to protect Hindu lives in the valley. You know that very well. You know that conservatively in 1990, 1992, 70,000 Hindu families migrated from in that particular period. Now, why am I saying conservatively? Because, viewers, all these people who left fearing their lives because they were the victims of xenophobia were called migrants. Can you believe that? That's why the words are 70,000 Hindu families migrated between 1990 and 92. That's why I don't believe these statistics, because we all know, viewers, that 600,000 in total Hindus fled, not migrated, they fled from the Kashmir Valley. 215 cases of 700 Hindus killed have not even been reopened, viewers. There's been no justice, as you know. No one's gone to jail. It's a travesty. While the whole country focuses constantly on Gujarat riots and this riot and that riot, no one has spoken up. No one has spoken up. It appears that, as I said, Hindus don't have a right to life or justice, viewers, because if you are seen to be demanding that for the Hindu community, you're immediately branded a communal RSS type. It's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. I'll tell you, viewers, as per Jammu and Kashmir police report in 2008, 209 Hindus were killed since 89, 109 in 1990 alone. Can you believe it, viewers? We don't even have the exact numbers. There are differing estimates, and in the center the records still refer to these who were preyed upon for their religion as migrants. It's like saying that the Jews migrated to Israel. Viewers, it's as ludicrous as that. I want to open this up. I think it's time we have a conversation. Of course, it's difficult under the circumstances to have any conversations these days, because the moment I speak up for the rights of Hindus, people will become a little overly reactive. I'll give you an example. I'll start with Majid Hydari. Majid Hydari, I want to ask you, what's your problem? A Burhan Wani can pick up the gun. He is usually described as the son of a chemist or a mathematician or this, that, the other. Poor chap. Forced to pick up a gun. It's alienated, you see. Here Hindus are being alienated from their lives. And they don't have a right to defend themselves because people like you will not criticize Islamist terrorism, but will criticize the government for trying to enable a response to Islamist terror. How does this work? Majid Hydari. Well, why are you so militantly opposed to the ideas of Hindus securing their interests in Kashmir? It's a very simple question. What's your problem?
See, Rahul Sahab, the targeted killings of the Hindus or of the non-Hindus is a serious matter, and we need to be collectively united on this front and fight the terror. But I have one simple question on this front, sir. If a Hindu brother of mine holding a 303 rifle is supposed to fight terrorists who are armed with AK-94 rifles or M4 machine guns, then what is supposed to be the role of our police and our army? Are we trying to undermine the role of our security forces? First point. Second point is this idea of training one particular community, which is my Hindu brothers, not aimed at empowering and arming Godses to frighten Gandhis. This is my simple point, because we have seen it to empower one.
I told you, viewers. So, all Hindus there. No, 1 second. Just calm down now.
Sir, why can't Muslims be trained for this? Okay, I have a threat to my life. Give me a gun. Train me with arms. Why can't I get a gun? Why can't a Muslim get a gun, sir?
1 second.
Why only Hindu brothers?
One second. Who has told you that this policy discriminates on religious lines? It doesn't. These are village defense committees. Can you show me any evidence where a Muslim will not be given a gun? Have you lost it?
No.
Are you trying to suggest that? No, do you even know the facts?
I say I have a threat to my life.
You don't know the facts.
Government that empower
Majid Hydari with a gun. One second.
This is a reality check.
Okay. So are you telling me that the Burhan Wanis who pick up the gun are coming for you, Majid Hydari?
I am saying if there is threat to life, it's threat to life of every Indian.
I'm asking you. I'm asking you this question. If you fear the Burhan Wanis, should you not be criticizing your Kashmiri Muslim brothers for attending the funeral of the butcher of Muslims? Answer this question.
I have to condemn Burhan Wani. I'll also condemn the cultivation of Godses in those training camps.
I'm asking you, Majid Hydari, unconditionally. Tell me that all those people who go to pick up the janaza of Burhan Wani are complicit in the act of Islamist jihad. Simple question, Majid Hydari.
See, this is an irrelevant question.
It's not an irrelevant question. This is the heart of the question, sir. This is the heart of the question. I told you viewers, an electric current goes through these individuals when it comes to talk of securing the rights of Hindus in the valley. Why? Is it because certain people...
No, why do you look at it
just relax. 1 second, Mr. Majid Hydari.
Why do you look at it through the prism of religion?
Because no one is looking... Excuse me, I'll answer that question. Okay, there you go.
Please tell me.
Because no one is going... Excuse me. Okay, I told you viewers, there can never be a peaceful debate. There will only be a rant from the other side. Now, viewers, I'll give you a very simple reason. Terrorists don't go looking at names of Hindus working, of Muslims working in banks, in schools, to shoot them. Neither do they go around looking at Aadhaar cards for Muslim names to shoot them in the valley. You may find what I'm saying a bit too candid for your liking. But the time is, viewers. Please excuse me, Mr. Hydari, don't speak over me. Stop shouting. Calm down. Relax. Let me open this up. I'll get the BJP to respond to you. Sanju Verma, this is now being called an exercise to empower Godses against Gandhis. I presume the Gandhi word is coming from a particular ecosystem plenipotentiary who described anyone who picked up the gun against the Indian state as a Gandhi. I hope it is not that, because if it is, we must be worried, viewers, because that poisonous propaganda has seeped very deep under the cap of even Mr. Majid Haidary's very warm head, in this case, woolly head. But let me just bring you in, Sanju Verma. What's happening?
Rahul, first and foremost, through your show, I would like to pay my condolences to the, half a dozen people who lost their lives at Dangri village in Rajouri, and to their families. Coming to your question, I'll come to that in a bit. But I heard Majid Haidary asking a very pertinent question as to why the village defense committees will not have Muslims. And as you rightly rebutted, Muslims are not barred from being members of the VDCs.
Yes.
So it's a different matter altogether that the VDC movement was initially started way back in the 1990s by LK Advani, which is a different matter of debate altogether. I just have this to say. I have been on umpteen debates with Majid Haidary. And tell me, when local body elections were held in October 2018 in Jammu and Kashmir, did radical elements applaud the Modi government? They said no. When the District Development Council elections were held in 2020, and mind you, the Gupkar alliance of 7 parties could not win more than 107 seats, and BJP came out with flying colours, being the single largest party winning 75 seats. That time, did you give any kind of legitimacy to the fact that people want BJP, people want peace, people are in solidarity with what the Modi government is largely doing on the ground?
Yes.
No. I will give you the most recent example, Rahul, just 30 seconds. As recently as December 2022, not even a month back, the Modi government took the historic decision of saying that Pahadis will also be given the scheduled tribe status. Since 1991, only Gujars and Bakarwals are given the scheduled tribe status. And the Modi government said that 4% quota
But Sanju Verma,
jobs will be given to Pahadis. I'll tell you why I'm pointing out this.
Yeah, get to the point.
Because more than 40 to 50% of Pahadis are Muslims, and yet the Modi government took this historic decision. And all the border areas, more than 50% of the border areas are manned by Gujars, Bakarwals and Pahadis who come from the Muslim community. But the Modi government, without looking at this from the prism of a religion angle, it went ahead and did what needed to be done and put the Pahadis on par with Gujars and Bakarwals, which had
Let
not
me
been
tell you,
done since
viewers,
1991. But
this is standard.
Not the Modi government.
Okay, this is standard. I agree with you. This is standard SOP, viewers. They will not only try and isolate Muslims who are standing up against Islamist terror and try to suggest that they've become co-opted in the Sanghi school, but they will also deny their history. You see, viewers, on Times Now, I come with the hard facts. Why? So that all of you watching, the Times Now family of viewers, are empowered with the truth. No one will talk about Jamila Bano, who in 1999, as a 19-year-old, assisted the army in gathering intelligence, and she shot dead a Hizbul terrorist. This all happened in 1999. She was from Duga village near Doda, and she also underwent this particular training. So Majid Haidary will try and shame all Muslims or any Muslim that speaks up for a Hindu in the valley. And that's the nub of the problem. They will celebrate those who go out there in the name of religion and kill Hindus. They will go out there, they will lead funeral processions, etc. But any Muslim who goes counterintuitive, counter-argument, counter-narrative is then isolated. Why? That's the fundamental question we need to ask. General Bakshi raising his hand. Dr. Ranganathan, Colonel RSN are all there with us. I'll bring them in one after each other. Yes, General Bakshi.
Rahul, let me make that very pertinent point that village defense committees were established to protect vulnerable groups that were being specifically targeted. It had nothing to do with religion per se, but the fact was, as you very rightly pointed out, when you ask for Aadhaar cards to establish a particular identity and shoot them, in exclusion to everybody else, then they need to be protected. Now, as far as this fact, ki why not to Muslims? Let me correct this gentleman. I was serving in Rajouri and Poonch. I was GOC Romeo Force. The Muslim Gujars of Hill Kaka, who were specifically being targeted by the terrorists, whose women were being raped, they were armed. They were also given under the VDC scheme 303 weapons and trained. Their women, when the Gujars go up the pastures, their women are left behind. And these terrorists used to come and molest them, rape them. The women asked for training, Muslim women, and we trained them to defend themselves. So don't give me this communal crap that why to him or why not to this group or why not to that group. The identification was done based upon threat analysis, based upon which were the vulnerable and targeted groups, and they were given the bare minimal means to protect themselves. When the Muslims in Hill Kaka were being murdered, their women were being raped, when they were being tortured, they were given means to defend themselves. They were given weapons, they were trained. Here, when the Hindus are being specifically targeted, the purpose of giving these weapons was to cause an element of delay in which the security forces could rush to that spot.
That's
the
right.
sound of firing itself would draw the security forces to that place. Because you see, it's a simple mathematical ratio. You can't,
Yes.
when I was in Kishtwar, I had 3,000 troops, I had 11,000 square kilometers to guard.
Okay, let me.
I can't put,
let's open this up.
one soldier even to every square
Don't speak over
kilometer.
each other. Mr. Hydri.
Mr. Majri, we heard you with a lot of patience. Show the same patience. Nobody interrupted you.
Okay, let me.
Why are you interrupting?
Well,
The simple fact is that you can't defend. He who defends everything defends nothing.
yes.
You can't go to every village and defend. You will have to be selective because you don't have adequate troops.
Okay, you made a
So
point.
all this hogwash ki the army is being made redundant, the CRPF is being made redundant is utter nonsense. This is actually
General Bakshi, who
designed
served
to
there on the
facilitate
ground, is
communal
giving you.
slaughter.
Yes, he's giving you an overview from the perspective of an individual who served there in counter-terrorism situations. Now, I want to bring in both Dr. Ranganathan, and very quickly, I saw Lokesh Jindal raising his hand. What's your objection to this, Mr. Jindal? Earlier, the Congress was in support. Now, what's your problem?
What about the salaries and wages to the members of the BDCs? I want to ask, sir, there are 4,125 BDCs which are functional now, and last 4 years they have not been given wages. Now, is the government clear with respect to the wages they shall receive? What about their role with respect to vis-a-vis the police as well as army? The army is training them, well, fine. But then when we are talking about certain people such as SPOs, which were promised that they shall be getting 18,000 rupees per month of wage, which they have not got since last 4 years.
Do you have an ideological problem with this? Yes or no? Simple question. Before you, we'll go into the logistics, etc. later. What is your problem with this?
See, when we talk about a good enforcement law and agencies, while implemented, they deliver result. We have seen that how stone
So
pelting
the
has
Congress
reduced.
today, viewers, look at the Craven Congress. Back then in time, it had no problem. No problem, exactly. Salva Judum. No problem in setting up the Salva Judum. You see, viewers?
No, what
But
I'm saying is the
this is your
administration
problem.
taking care of
At that
BDCs?
time, you were not thinking about army and forces morale, were you? Please,
we are
have some
upholding all the morale of the army and
consistency.
forces.
This Lokesh
What I'm saying
Jindal
is
comes
the
from a party,
administration particular of the BDCs.
where the Prime Minister once described as Maoism as the #1 terror threat that went to the Supreme Court and used the term urban Naxals. But then viewers today does a flip and says, oh, you see, categorizing anyone as an urban Naxal is to do a disservice to dissent. Can you believe this political party, viewers?
Rahul, where am I wrong if I'm asking for the wages for the BDCs?
That's a different question, and I've said it. But you've now also expressed an ideological disregard for this policy. So let's talk about no. Again,
to safeguard their rights as
again,
well.
flip, because I reminded you of Salva Judam. Now it's a flip. Now, 1 second. Let me bring in Dr. Ranganathan. Dr. Ranganathan, what do you make of Mr. Hydari and Lokesh Jindal's core objection on ideological grounds to this?
Rahul, let me put it very bluntly. Kashmiri Hindu has no right to live. As simple as that, especially in Kashmir. You know, you talked about terrorists coming in, barging into schools and hospitals and Hindu hamlets and inspecting Aadhaar cards. Let me also be very honest. Yes, no doubt Muslims are being killed in Kashmir, but as a collateral or as suspected to be informers, whereas Hindus are being killed just because they are Hindus, and that is why it is very disappointing and befuddling, and anger rises when someone on as high an authority as the governor says that religion has got nothing to do with it. Of course, religion has got everything to do with this. Kashmiri Hindus are being discriminated against, ethnically cleansed, killed, driven out. But have you ever wondered why Kashmir's bubbling and ever-present communal bigotry, ethnic cleansing, terrorism, and religious fanaticism never enter the India narrative? Think about that. Why India is being called an autocracy, suppressing freedom of speech and expression and discrimination, but they never bring Kashmir in it. Because if they do, then this whole facade falls like a pack of cards, because they talk of human and religious rights. But when have you heard them speak out on the atrocities committed by Pakistan against the Ahmadiyas or the Baluchs? Leave aside the Hindu and Christian minorities. When have you ever heard them speak about against China that has interned more than 1 million Uyghur Muslims in concentration camps and is feeding them pork? When have you heard them speak out against the brutal trampling of human rights of lakhs of Dalits, Gurkhas, women, Sikhs, refugees, homosexuals in Kashmir because of 370 and 35A? But I'll tell you, when they do speak out, when their power and authority are threatened, like when Sheikh Abdullah spoke out, and I quote, "Self-determination is our right. Countries that do not support it are our enemies." Or when Farooq Abdullah spoke out, and I quote, "They want to abolish 370 and we'll remain silent. Inshallah, we will fight. We dare them. Allah would want that we gain independence from India." And when it comes to one particular dynasty you showed a clip of, Miss Mehbooba Mufti, one would be hard-pressed, honestly, to find a bigger hypocrite or a bigot. From choosing a rape accused as an election candidate, to threatening rivers of blood if 370 was abrogated, to shedding tears and mourning the death of a terrorist Wani, to saying flags other than tricolor will fly, to threatening sedition by saying, quote, "Why would a Muslim majority state want to stay with India," unquote, to wanting to introduce punishment according to Sharia law in Kashmir and death by stoning.
Yes.
Mehbooba Mufti has scaled all methane-spewing landfill summits, Rahul. But you know, after a while, one gets tired of exposing them with facts and details. And so, I have, with your permission, devised a simple 30-second plan. Just ask these 3 panelists out there on our panel, turning up on any Kashmir debate as they do, these 2 simple questions that require a simple yes or no answers. Number 1, was Burhan Wani a terrorist? And number 2, did Kashmiri Hindu genocide take place? My answer to both these questions is an emphatic yes and yes. Ask these people. You might unearth many snakes tonight.
Well, let me, first of all, let's get into this. Mr. Jindal and Colonel RSN are coming in. Yes, Mr. Razak Khan, give me 30 seconds. Give me 30 seconds. Mr. Jindal was furiously nodding his head from side to side when Dr. Ranganathan suggested that religion had got everything to do with the terror in Jammu and Kashmir. In other words, he disagrees that religion has anything to do with terror in Jammu and Kashmir. This gentleman comes from the same Congress party, viewers, that came up with an analogy that linked the Hindu faith to terror. So what holds you back, Mr. Jindal? What holds you back? I'm asking you, did Burhan Wani pick up the gun against this country because he was part of the Ghazwa-e-Hind project of Islamist terrorism? Simple, straightforward question to you, sir.
He was brainwashed.
Brainwashed.
I mean, he was misguided.
Misguided.
And
Poor
therefore
guy.
he turned into a terrorist.
Misguided,
No,
brainwashed.
And I'm telling you, if
Note, viewers, note. Misguided
yes.
and brainwashed. You see, viewers, you can be misguided when you don't have any precedent to tell you what happens when you allow bigotry to overcome you. But viewers, Burhan Wani was born 25 years after Kashmiri Hindus were driven out of that valley. He knew.
Rahul,
He knew the path he was taking, and he deliberately took that path.
Rahul, allow
Now
me
tell
to
me, no,
complete.
one second. Would you
Let's
say,
go
no, one
back to
second.
history.
Very simple question,
Let's
Mr.
talk
Jindal.
about history.
Mr. Jindal, you sit here and you constantly talk about Sadhvi Pragya. Sadhvi Pragya is a Hindu terrorist, you keep saying. She is cutting, the thin edge of the Hindu terror wedge. That's what you keep saying on this channel. Poor thing, she was misguided. Why are you so harsh on her? Ho jata hai, galti ho jati. Why don't you give her some amount of rehabilitation? Yes, Dr. Ranganathan is raising his hand. You have a question?
I certainly do that.
Right.
I think I was required to
Naveen.
answer that question, Ranganathan sir. Can I answer that question, Rahul, since you have asked that to me?
Lokesh, only because... Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay, very quickly. Very quickly.
See, Rahul, when we talk about the history, we have seen that the entire struggle was between Chaudhry Ghulam Abbas and...
Sir, don't give me this. No, hang on. Just 1 second. Just tell me that the pogrom against Kashmiri Hindus was basically because of their religion. Can you admit this here tonight? Yes, no.
See, over here, a religion is being used... realize one political end that is being backed by Pakistan.
Oh, right.
However, when you are looking at such form of
Rahul, I need to come in.
Okay, Dr. Ranganathan wants to come in. Colonel RSN comes in right after. Yes.
Necessary and sufficient conditions.
Yeah, okay. Necessary and sufficient conditions. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan. Yeah.
Yes, no, I really need to expose this. I'm sorry I said I'm tired of, giving facts and all, but please permit me, because Lokesh has, just, I don't know, it's not that my blood is boiling, but I need to give facts, because I need to get this propaganda out of the window and, out of our minds. This thing about that in Kashmir, terrorism has got nothing to do with religion. I want to quote directly. I want to give you a glimpse into Gilani's world. Now, wouldn't you agree? And many Congress leaders, Rahul,
yes,
including Manishankar Ayyar, have actually met Gilani.
Embraced.
They were siding with Gilani. Embraced him.
Yeah.
Now, let me give you a glimpse into his world. A world of hatred for India and specifically Hindu. I am going to quote something verbatim. Quotes taken of Gilani, taken from his book, Nawaya-Hurriyat. 1. India is a bigger enemy of Islam and Muslims than even Israel. 2. Muslims are a qawm wholly separate from the Hindus. Muslims are a complete separate nation on the basis of their religion, culture, civilization, customs and practices and thought. Their nationalism and their foundation of their unity cannot be based on their homeland, race, language, color or economic system. The basis of the unity is Islam and Islam alone. Kashmir must become an Islamic state. Our goal is establishment of Islamic government. I plead with the Afghan Mujahideen to come forward to help liberate us from India. Why is he deviating so much? Now look at this. Now look how rattled this guy is. Because I started
looking Tokyo, talking London, sir.
No, this is not looking Tokyo, sir. It's you who is looking Tokyo and talking London. In fact, you're looking Islamabad and talking Delhi. So just let's be a little more reasonable.
I'm making a humble submission.
No, Mr. Haidari, please. You cannot. No, that's all. Don't give me all that hogwash. I'm bringing in Colonel RSN and Mr. Razak Khan. Mr. Razak Khan, by the way, viewers, let me tell you, Mr. Razak Khan, while Dr. Ranganathan was giving us hard facts, Mr. Razak Khan was laughing. He should have been boiling with anger at Gilani's words, but he was laughing.
No.
He's trivializing religious extremism, viewers, and bigotry. What else were you doing? Should I replay the tape? No, I'll replay the tape.
This is called hatred.
No, I'll replay the tape.
Hatred.
I'll replay the tape.
Venom spewing exercise.
Okay, let me replay. Let's 1 second. We are in 30 seconds. I'll be able to replay the clip. When Dr. Ranganathan was making a point, you were laughing. Why were you laughing? Why were you trivializing his words? Were you trivializing his words? Yes or no? Okay, 1 minute.
Are we
Let me bring in 1 second. I'll bring that.
Army?
No. I'll bring
Would
that
we
clip
have
out.
faith?
1 second. I'll bring the clip out, viewers.
Can we?
1 minute. I'm lowering your fader. I'm bringing in Colonel RSN. At least he'll make some sense tonight. And he will not, in any way, viewers, justify anything to do with what these individuals are drawing a false equivalence. He won't. Colonel RSN, I want to bring you in on this. I want you to tell me, why is an ecosystem today upset that a village defense committee is being set up where perhaps in villages of Rajouri district, for example, where Hindus were targeted, they'll be at least able to pick up the gun in their self-defense. Why do you think this is happening, Colonel Saab?
No, this ecosystem, as I say, it's a typical product of transfer of power. The politicians, lawyers, judges, academic, all products of transfer of power. Both inside India, the Angrez, Gora Sahab went, and these fellows, they occupied their, the same bungalows in Luty and Delhi. While the whole Delhi, must be shivering, they must be enjoying their sigari, both here in India and Pakistan. So this ecosystem that you saw, one gentleman, head of a, intelligence agency, I mean, he was also part of the, I've seen enough of them. I have seen enough of them, and they continued, to only, their industry has been dented, I would say, but industry has not been, demolished, that I would say. That answers your first question. The second question is that, look, the jihad is against India, not against India. It is against Hindus, the Bharatiyas. For simple example is, you drove out the Kashmiri Hindus in 90, right? But you welcome the Rohingyas. Rohingyas are there in Sujwan camp. Rohingya was there in Nagrota. And I think the government of the day should order a commission of inquiry as to who was responsible for this. Why they are not being driven out. And then you say it is not a Hindu problem. Now, lessons learned from this, in this Dangri village, Rajouri, you rightly brought out this, the brave act of Bal Kishan. And let me tell you, jihadis are basically cowards. If three rounds of ammunition could scare these fellows away into the jungles, you see how positive role the BDCs can play.
Yes.
Right. Firstly, this should not have been discontinued. You re-established it, but not only after there was lot of political agitation.
Yep.
They didn't do it with their heart. And my advice, sir, to Kashmiri Hindus is, look, very seriously I am telling you, you have every right to defend yourselves. Remember, a dead man does not go to a judge. He does not go to a court of law. But you have every right to defend yourself and your family and your country.
Yes.
And in this you should not be guided. You should be only guided by the past.
Well,
not by an assurance.
And here, viewers, when we talk about the past,
or a police head,
Colonel RSN, I'll tell you something.
Colonel Saab, 10 seconds.
1 second.
Rahul, may I come in, please?
Yeah, 1 second. The past, you talk about the past. I want to tell you, viewers, in this country, whether it's the courts, whether it is successive governments, they have tried to bury the past. Where, viewers, where is the special panel set up to even investigate what happened in 1990? Dr. Ranganathan,
very quickly.
You are raising your hand. Yes, okay.
Yes, very
I'm coming
quickly,
to you.
The esteemed panelist, Colonel RSN Singh. General Bakshi, can I just take 30 seconds with your permission, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
Please.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Heaven knows how much I respect Colonel RSN Singh. He knows it personally. How much I respect the organization he worked for. But when he talks about the ecosystem, when he talks about the past, when he talks about the snakes, when he talks about Hindus being Kashmiri Hindus specifically targeted, with due respect to him, and he's like my, elder brother, if not father figure. I want to say this on record, that last week the man who shook hands on Bharat Jodo Yatra with Rahul Gandhi was his chief, who said on record that Kashmiri Hindu genocide did not take place, that Jagmohan was relieved when Kashmiri Hindus fled from Kashmir, that more Muslims were ethnically cleansed than Hindus.
Shocking.
It pained me.
But it is true.
I totally
But it
agree
is
with
true,
you, sir.
viewers. It is
Please,
true.
please listen to the latest, episode that I have given on Pushpender Kulshresh's site.
I have seen.
On this man.
Let's,
Man
viewers.
called Dullat. Rahul.
Yes, no, 1 second. I want to show you the two window, viewers. 1 minute, the two window. Where
Dullat was
Razak
the
Khan.
problem.
Where 1 minute.
And there were
1 second,
many-
lower the faders. Where Razak Khan. Where Mr. Razak Khan is laughing. There you can see him, viewers. Laughing on the right. On the right of the screen, he's laughing as Dr. Ranganathan is making his point. Why, Mr. Razak Khan, were you trivializing the point that Dr. Ranganathan was making? There you are, laughing away. I can put the audio up and you will know exactly what you were laughing at also. Yes, Mr. Razak Khan, on the left. I can't hear you. Yes, go ahead. Let's listen to him. Respond. Razak Khan, why were you trivializing the point that Dr. Ranganathan was making? Bataiye.
Rahul ji, let us come to the point.
No, I'm
Let
coming
me
to the
speak
point.
about the debate.
point is this,
Now,
viewers.
every day you allow
The
Mr.
point is this.
Ranganathan on national
It began with Majid Haidari trivializing this by saying that we are arming Godses to go against Gandhis. Who are the Gandhis for these people? Burhan Wani, viewers. Are there
Exactly.
Gandhis? The Gilanis
Exactly, that
are
is
there
what is
Gandhis?
happening in Kashmir.
1 second.
You allow me my time, I'll tell you.
No, I don't
That
want
is
to
what
listen
is
to
happening in
your...
Kashmir.
No, I don't want to listen to
Modi
your
ji's formula,
cockeyed.
Kashmir
Sir,
formula
since
failed.
you trivialize
Are you
a
today
very
ready to
serious
accept
issue,
that?
I don't want to
You give
listen.
weapons to Hindus.
Sir.
And you expect Muslims to keep quiet.
Sir,
You give
I don't
weapons
want
to Hindus.
lower his fader, just
And you-
spreading poison. This is the gentleman who came on this show some years back, viewers, and talked
This
about
is
Sartan Se
nonsense.
Juda and legitimized it.
Sorry.
The same gentleman.
Rahul.
Yes, General Bakshi. Yes, General Bakshi.
This is, you are giving weapons to Hindus. This is a very strange definition of terrorism. If Hindus, Kashmiri Hindus are killed, it is perfectly par for the course.
Yeah.
It is perfectly legitimate and all right as per their dispensation. I served in Kishtwar. We started going in for command and control attrition. We started trying to knock out the terrorist leaders. And in response, you know what they did? They went to Tagud village, pulled out 5 Hindus, killed them.
It was shocking.
They went to Pati Mahal, pulled out Hindus from the bus, 8 of them, shot them. Then they went to Gulabgarh, beyond the range of the VDCs, where the old people go with the grandchildren with the cattle to the pastures. They kill old, ladies and old men, 80 years old.
Shocking.
Along
Disgusting
with children
bigots.
of 5, 8, 9, 10.
Disgusting bigots.
This kind of slaughter was
And we
inflicted.
still have apologists,
Then you say,
viewers.
why do you arm them?
We still have apologists in this country.
If the Hindus haven't fled, and if the Hindus haven't fled Kishtwar, it is because of the VDCs.
Yep.
And it is because we took stringent
But Sanju
action
Verma-
against those groups.
But Sanju
of
Verma, very
murderers.
quickly, I want you to guarantee
and then the people
that
who
this
had fled
time
came
there
back.
will be no logistic/administrative reasons that will lose. Just please shut him down. Haidari, please don't talk in the middle. It's not right. Please, this is not the way. I'm not even addressing you. You're an apologist. You're a denier. So forget it. I don't know why we even invited him. I don't know why. Now, 1 second. Sanju Verma, I just want to ask you, will these VDCs now be subjected to the bottlenecks that we saw in the previous administration? That's all I'm asking. Please empower them and put your money where your mouth is. Please.
Okay. Rahul, I'm glad you asked me that. Without beating around the bush, let me just tell you that today there are more than 4,000 VDCs, and Lokesh Jindal is right There were vacancies that needed to be filled up with respect to VDCs in Doda district and in Kishtwar and in Ramban. But since the last 9 to 12 months, almost every vacancy has been filled up. I personally feel, and I'm sure people who are watching from the government, your channel, that an honorarium of just 4,000 rupees a month to the volunteers of VDCs is on the lower side, and I'm sure the government is looking at upping it, because a monetary incentive may not be everything, but a reasonable monetary incentive means a lot to people who are willing to stake their everything.
I appreciate the candor.
Just this one more point to say: when the Congress is on your panel, be it the unofficial or official spokespersons, come here and give a lecture to the Modi government, I find it hilarious had it not been so tragic.
Okay.
Don't forget, Rahul, please, can I take 20 seconds? I've been waiting for my turn. Please. Beat the Anantnag. This has been said ad nauseum on your debates, but since the topic is sensitive, I think it's time for me to reiterate that. Beat the Anantnag riots of 1986, the CTO blast in Srinagar in July 1988, or A.M. Watali's killing in September 1988. Who was the Prime Minister of India? It was Rajiv Gandhi. So please don't sit here and give a bhashan.
I just want you,
viewers, is doing what needs to be done.
Sanju Verma ji, till you don't form a committee to look into the massacre of Kashmiri Hindus, well, I'm sorry, you're not doing enough. Number one. Number two.
5 seconds.
Yeah, now, CAA के भी थोड़े rules आप notify कर ही लीजिए. It's been now 2.5 years. You talk about, giving refuge to this and that, Rohingya and all that. But पहले अपने जो वहाँ मर रहे हैं Hindus who are dying in Pakistan and Bangladesh, notify the rules so that they can live a life of dignity in this country. I leave it at that, viewers. I leave it at that. Okay, I leave it at that. No, forget it. You see, you're just going to spin me around and say that in the next 6 months we will have an extension and all that. Yes, yes. Sanju Verma,
can I just take 10 seconds?
10 seconds. Chalo, 10.
Rahul, I think today on such an important debate, you also need to mention, which perhaps you have done during the course of the day, is the fact that the resistance front has been declared a banned terror outfit.
Fair enough.
And so has Sajjad Gul.
Fair enough.
He's been declared
Fair
a terrorist.
enough. But the LET is also banned.
The government is doing nothing.
But madam, the LET is also banned and they continue their terror. I'm only saying, empower these people, do it right, and get that CA rolled out as soon as possible. I need to move on. I really need to, because there has been a constitutional face-off in Tamil Nadu, viewers, in nearly a dozen opposition rule states. The governor and the chief minister are at loggerheads. We have witnessed incredulous exchanges in Delhi, Goa, Bengal, Kerala. But never have we witnessed a governor walk out in apparent disagreement as the chief minister was making a speech and before the national anthem is even played. This happened in Chennai, in the state assembly today. Indeed, Tamil Nadu assembly witnessed high drama today as DMK and its allies raised slogans against the state governor R.N. Ravi during his address. DMK allies have alleged that governor skipped references to Tamil Nadu and Dravidian ideology from his speech, which was prepared by the state government and ratified by the governor. The DMK MLAs also staged a walkout in protest and raised slogans such as "Long live Tamil Nadu" and "Our land is Tamil Nadu." Watch first how the governor walks out. Just watch this entire sequence, and I want to open this up immediately.
Mutamid Harinar Kalainar's philosophy of though we may fall. Several states, including Tamil Nadu, had joined the GST regime. The anticipated revenues were not realized due to the drastic fall in revenue. Mutamid Harinar Kalainar's philosophy of though we may fall. Several states, including Tamil Nadu, had joined the GST regime. The anticipated revenues were not realized due to the drastic fall in revenue. Mutamid Harinar Kalainar's philosophy of though we may fall. Several states, including Tamil Nadu, had joined the GST regime. The anticipated revenues.
Chief Minister Stalin moved a resolution against the governor, accusing him of not only skipping portions of the prepared text but also breaking the decorum of the assembly. The House adopted the resolution to take on record the original speech, which is prepared by the state government. The governor then walked out of the assembly in an apparent huff, even before the national anthem could be sung. DMK IT wing then tweeted the video of the governor leaving the house with the hashtag #GetOutRavi. Viewers, let's open this up. Let me ask some basic questions. Let me first begin with the DMK spokesperson, the senior spokesperson of the DMK, very respected lawyer in Tamil Nadu, Mr. A. Sarvanan. Mr. Sarvanan, good evening.
Yes.
I just want to ask you
Good
this.
evening.
The BJP says the governor is not DMK's parrot, not honor bound to parrot everything that you want him to speak. That's what's being said. How do you respond to that charge?
See, because we are not asking the governor to speak what the DMK has said. This is the address of the state government elected by the people of Tamil Nadu. By getting out of the house today, the governor has insulted the will of the people of Tamil Nadu. He has insulted the sovereignty of the house, the very house which he is supposed to guide by constitutional principles. And you spoke about it. He has insulted the national anthem. Why can't he wait until the national anthem is played? Is this a governor will act not even waiting for the national anthem to play? This apart, we are all aware what is the constitutional duty of the governor. The constitutional duty of the governor is to speak, is to read the address that is given to him, because that is circumscribed by Article 163. What business he has to read his own free thoughts or cut out what he does not like. He has signed. He has signed and approved the written address. Cunning and stealth does not behave well for a constitutional office. And that is what the governor is doing.
That's what the governor is doing. He's doing what he pleases. He should be led by the state government, the cabinet, etc. Let me tell you, viewers, there is precedent. Yes, 1 second, Uman, and then I'll just come out to you. You can respond. Dr. Ranganathan also waiting, and the other doctor also, Dr. Sumansi Raman. Very quickly, viewers, I just want to take you back in time. 1969, DC Pawate, Punjab governor, objected to comments critical of Congress-led centre. Then BJP chief minister agreed to a request for the removal of the objectionable parts from speeches. Dharmavira, West Bengal governor, 1969, refused to read parts critical of Congress-led centre, portions about dismissal of First United Front government. Today, viewers, the same Congress that supports the DMK is criticizing Mr. Ravi for doing exactly what some of its own appointed governors have done in the past. 83-84, Anand Prasad Sharma, West Bengal governor, deferred with left government over VC's appointments after objections. CM removed reference to the issue. So the governor was given a veto, was respected. His authority was respected in those cases. Tathagat Roy, former Tripura governor, skipped parts of the speech drafted by left government, didn't read parts on rising intolerance in Demo. Now I want to ask you, Umanandan, all of this is happening currently. Since 2014, in states where the BJP is not in power, opposition governments are in power. Why is it only happening where opposition governments are in power? The governors and CMs are at each other's throats. Why?
See, first you have to understand that the governor is not a puppet of the ruling parties. And let us not talk about the tips, because the Congress-led Indira Gandhi in the center treated governors like doormats. So you cannot talk about it. Third, I want to ask, this newfound love for constitution by the DMK spokesperson, Mr. Saravanan, they are all paper tigers. They said they are burning the constitution during Indira Gandhi's time, and then they went back to say they burnt only the white paper. That was Mr. Karunanidhi, who was then the CM. So this paper tiger acts, we are all known to it. Perhaps outside Tamil Nadu they don't know. Third, the governor is not an actor. He is not reading out a dialogue from a film produced by the Dravidian parties, because they are famous for their film production. He is not here to recite the dialogues. And I would like to ask, what propriety is the newfound love for national anthem? What respect have they shown for national anthem when they forbade the singing
Two wrongs
of
don't make a
national
right.
anthem on so many occasions?
Umaji, two
And
wrongs
now
don't
they
make a right.
expose
Miss
about the
Anandan,
Constitution of
Miss
that.
Anandan.
So, I cannot.
Miss Anandan,
Yeah.
two wrongs don't make a right.
No,
And I
they
just want to
can-
ask you, and I
they
want to bring in
cannot
Dr.
point out.
Ranganathan, okay?
And the governor is above.
Okay, above. Governors. You see, viewers, do governors
It's
only
above
develop,
all
one
this.
second. Miss Anandan says, the BJP says that the governor is no one's vassal. He is not to do anyone's bidding. Now, I can't understand,
Yeah,
Dr. Ranganathan, do governors only
Anand,
develop
10 seconds,
spines?
Anand.
1 minute. Do governors only develop spines in opposition rule states? What is happening here? I understand that the governor is not a parrot of the state government,
Because
but
they are irritating.
the governors that are appointed by the center develop their spines, they stop becoming parrots when they are in opposition rule states. Is there a coincidence, Dr. Ranganath?
Rahul, very briefly, because I think the other good doctor also has to have a say. Just very briefly, 2 points. Number one, the conduct of the MLAs, the DMK MLAs, of their outright abusing, metaphorically or by sign language or even by words, get out, governor, is absolutely appalling and condemnable. And this has to be condemned across parties. And I hope the DMK spokesperson condemns it. Number two,
You first condemn the actions of the governor.
Now, sir, did I please? This is
Sir, he didn't interrupt you.
why you
respect
have
the sentiments of
Mr.
Tamil Nadu.
Saravanan, he didn't interrupt you. He's got a point of view.
Condemn the actions of the
Is he
governor.
an MLA?
Two wrongs don't make a right.
Sir, it
If
is
you
fine
believe
to
that the
condemn
governor was wrong,
is
you don't
conduct-
have to compound the problem by saying
Is
get out,
conduct-
governor. That's ridiculous also.
Is Mr. Saravanan an MLA? Because his conduct right now is entirely in keeping with what his colleagues have been doing since morning.
Sir,
So please, be quiet.
We know.
Rahul, we cannot go on like this. This kind of ill manner.
1 minute, I'm lowering everyone's status. Please stop shouting over each other. What is wrong with you guys? Please calm down. Miss Anandan and Mr. Saravanan, please, let's just not shout over each other. Let's, Dr. Ranganathan is making a point. Dr. Raman is running out of time. So, Dr. Ranganathan, please make your point. Yes.
Yes, I'd already made my first point. The second brief point was, I find extremely childish this habit of following this protocol, but this habit exists, this protocol has to be followed, and this is a very colonial thing. You would see when the UK House of Parliament's open, the Queen gives the address and says, my government will do this. In India, you have the president saying, my government. So the government, the governor was duty bound, in my opinion, to follow this protocol.
Dr. Raman.
It is wrong.
Dr.
It is
Raman.
wrong that it didn't
Very
follow.
quickly.
Dr. Raman.
No, very quickly, Rahul. First of all, this is not the governor's address. It is the address written by the state government, delivered by the governor. I don't think Mr. Ravi understood the implications of that to the fullest extent. To go and quote examples from Congress time is not really solving this issue. It is, if governors in the Congress period did it, some governors in the BJP period are also doing the same thing, whether it is CJI Sadasivam, whether it is BB Harichandan in Andhra Pradesh, whether it was Jagdeep Dhankar in West Bengal. Well, that does not make it right, and that certainly does not condone the behavior of the governor today, particularly in not waiting for the national anthem at the end of the program. Whatever else could have been debated, but the issue of not waiting for the national anthem and walking out in the middle is something which does not behove the high office of the governor. I think that certainly is something that he should,
viewers, I just want to drop a thought with you at the end of the day. How is it that there are only clashes taking place between chief ministers and governors in opposition rule states? I leave it at that, viewers. I think that in itself tells you what is exactly happening, who's crossing the Lakshman Rekha and why. I leave it at this.
Let's get it started, yeah, you know it's game time. Ain't no excuses tolerated while you can't grind. It's like you know the job, you know that team.
Hello everyone, ये है बजाज की नई पल्सर P150. In case you're wondering, 150 ऑलरेडी मौजूद है, तो इस P वर्जन को लाने का कारण क्या है, मतलब क्या है? सो कारण बहुत सारे हैं, डिजाइन को लेकर, फीचर्स को लेकर और कुछ हद तक
परफॉर्मेंस को लेकर भी इस P वर्जन में बदलाव देखने को मिलते हैं। तो क्या है वो सारे बदलाव इस नई पल्सर P150 में, उन सभी के बारे में मैं आपसे बात करने वाला हूं इस रिव्यू के अंदर। और रिव्यू के एंड में बात करेंगे 3 धांसू और 3 नॉट धांसू एलिमेंट्स मुझे क्या लगते हैं इस बजाज पल्सर P150 के बारे में। अब डिजाइन की बात करें तो यहाँ पर जो नयापन देखने को मिल रहा है, स्पेशली ओवरऑल 150 जो पल्सर है उसके मुकाबले इन टर्म्स ऑफ डिजाइन पूरी आपको ये P150 देखने को मिलेगी, लेकिन आपको ओवरऑल जो एसेंस है डिजाइन का वो इसमें N160 वाला देखने को मिलने वाला है। फ्रंट हालांकि अलग है यहाँ पे, लेकिन अब इसमें P150 में प्रोजेक्टर हेडलैम्प्स दिए गए हैं एंड इसमें DRLs भी यहाँ पर इसमें देखने को मिलते हैं। अग्रेसिव, स्पोर्टी एंड शार्प एलिमेंट्स इसके डिजाइन में यहाँ पर देखने को मिल रहे हैं एंड साइड प्रोफाइल जो ओवरऑल है वो आपको N160 वाला ही झलक थ्रू आउट इसके साइड प्रोफाइल में देखने को मिलने वाला है। टैंक से लेकर इसके रियर पैनल्स यहाँ तक जो जाते हैं तो ओवरऑल वो लुक कुछ वैसा ही है, लेकिन अग्रेसिव और शार्प काफी है इन टर्म्स ऑफ डिजाइन पहले के मुकाबले लग रही है। देन पल्सर की बड़ी सी ब्रांडिंग यहाँ दी गई है एंड यहाँ काउल अलग से देखने को मिल रहा है टैंक पे एंड देयर इज बेली पैन जो यहाँ पे नीचे दिया गया है जो बॉडी कलर के हिसाब से दिया गया है एंड P150 की ब्रांडिंग यहाँ पर इसमें देखने को मिल रही है। सीट जो है इसमें स्प्लिट सीट्स आती हैं, इसमें 2 वेरिएंट हैं SD और TD एंड जो इसका स्टार्टिंग वेरिएंट है SD उसमें सिंगल सीट है, इसमें जो है जो टॉप वेरिएंट है इसका उसमें TD सीट दी गई है। दोनों वेरिएंट में जो अंतर है कुछ मैं बताता हूँ आपको कौन कौन से हैं। एक तो सीट का हो गया, दूसरा ये जो वर्जन है इसमें क्लिप ऑन हैंडल बार्स आते हैं थोड़ा स्पोर्टी स्टांस के लिए।
On the show tonight, viewers.
Supreme Court refused to scrap panels formed by Gujarat and Uttarakhand to bring in uniform civil code. Said state has power to set up committees for matters on which they make laws. As thousands of lives continue to remain affected by the Joshimath tragedy, locals hit the streets protesting against the administration for not looking after their demands. Court will hear the plea filed by Swami Saraswati seeking immediate intervention of the top court to provide urgent relief to people of Joshimath tomorrow. 3 days after brawl in MCD House over mayor polls, AAP staged a protest against BJP outside the BJP headquarters.
इनकेस आप मिलेनियन वाली जनरेशन से हैं तो आपने शायद वो गाना सुना होगा, देखा जो तुझे यार दिल में बजी गिटार। सो कुछ ऐसे अगर आप मूड में हैं तो यहाँ पे ये गिटार की स्ट्रिंग्स टाइप दी गई हैं, एग्जैक्टली स्ट्रिंग्स नहीं है बट ऐसे कुछ मूड में है तो आप इनका इस्तेमाल उस समय जरूर कर सकते हैं। अब आप समझ गए होंगे कि गाड़ी कौन सी है, हाल ही में इसका लॉन्च हुआ था, ये है BYD की Atto 3 और क्या परफॉर्मेंस, क्या रेंज, क्या डिजाइन, क्या फीचर्स BYD अपने इस इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल में दे रहा है, उन सभी के बारे में मैं आपसे बात करने वाला हूं इस वीडियो में। और वीडियो के अंत में हमेशा की तरह बात करेंगे 3 धांसू और 3 नॉट धांसू एलिमेंट्स मुझे क्या लगे इस BYD Atto 3 के बारे में। तो चलिए शुरुआत करते हैं। तो शुरुआत कर लेते हैं इस Atto 3 के डिजाइन वाले एस्पेक्ट से। तो फ्रंट में BYD का कहना है ये गाड़ी का डिजाइन जो है ओवरऑल ड्रैगन इंस्पायर्ड है, चाइनीज ब्रांड है, तो कुछ वैसा ही एसेंस BYD कह रही है हमने इस गाड़ी के डिजाइन और स्टाइलिंग में देने की कोशिश करी है। हालांकि ड्रैगन इंस्पायर्ड तो मुझे फ्रंट ज्यादा नहीं लग रहा है, बट फिर भी यहाँ पे सेंटर में बड़ा सा BYD का लोगो है, क्रोम का एलिमेंट दिया गया है थ्रू आउट जो जाता है इसके फ्रंट हेडलाइट के ऊपर से सेंटर तक। एंड हेडलाइट जो है क्रिस्टल LED कॉम्बिनेशन लाइट्स यहाँ पर इसमें देखने को मिल रही हैं एंड DRL देख रहे हैं। देखने में खूबसूरत ही काफी लग रहा है। इसका फ्रंट जो लाइट का सेक्शन है काफी स्लीक कॉम्पैक्ट इसका हेडलाइट का डिजाइन लग रहा है एंड जो
Krishna, as Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra enters the Haryana leg, it has crossed another controversial milestone. This time with former Army Chief General Deepak Kapoor joining the Pan-India March. Tweeting a picture of General Kapoor walking alongside Rahul Gandhi. In fact, in the picture, the BJP asked, why is the Congress embracing a man indicted in the Aadhar scam and accused of bringing shame to the armed forces?
It is not a coincidence that everybody who has a checkered past, including General Kapoor or Dulat and several other prominent people from the civil society who have had something to hide or a tainted background but have been part of this Bharat Jodo Yatra. And that raises questions on the kind of people that Rahul Gandhi is assimilating under the umbrella. You cannot hide the former army chief's corruption behind the fact that he served in the armed forces. The Congress therefore must introspect why everybody who's either involved in corruption or has a questionable track record has opted to side with Rahul Gandhi.
And lashing out at the BJP, the Congress took strong exception to what they called an abject insult and character assassination of soldiers, accusing the BJP of maligning a war veteran for political purposes.
If he has violated any law of the land, BJP, a very powerful leader like Mr. Narendra Modi sitting in Delhi, let him take action and let him present his defense if anything wrong has happened. Let him say that. Now to assassinate the character of a great general, that's typically petty mindedness of the BJP. What else can you expect?
This shows the mentality of BJP, which wants to insult the army, which wants to insult the soldiers. Those officers who worked with Mr. Rahul Gandhi ji, because of their hate against Mr. Rahul Gandhi, they are insulting the Indian army. BJP should not stoop to this cheap politics.
BJP and leaders of Bharatiya Janata Party, they don't have respect for our army, for our army soldiers, for our officers. You are defaming is very senior army officer and you should apologize for it.
Now, this controversy also comes at a time when Rahul Gandhi has compared his Bharat Jodo Yatra with tapasya. But the BJP asks, how can endorsing someone who's responsible for depriving the families of Jawans of what is due to them be justified? Because remember, Aadhar society was meant for war heroes and war widows of the 1999 Kargil war, who till today have been deprived of a roof over their heads by those who played a role in shortchanging them, and this includes the former army chief.
कई सारे हमारे सोसाइटी के जो मेंबर्स हैं जिसने अपना लाइफ आर्मी में स्पेंड कर दिया है, जो हमारे मेंबर्स है 5 से 6 मेंबर्स तो मैं जानता हूँ इन पर्सन में जो ऑलरेडी चल बसे हैं, जो यहाँ पे शिफ्ट होने वाले थे और ओसी आने के बाद रिवोक होने की वजह से इनको कहीं का भी नहीं रहे और कई लोग स्ट्रेस में वगैरह में इनका ऑलरेडी जान भी चला गया.
That brings me to the legitimate question that we're asking this evening, and that is Rahul's tapasya not so adarsh? Before I go across my guest, there's some breaking news coming in. Rahul Gandhi has escalated the fight over tapasya. Says RSS never says Har Har Mahadev because Lord Shiva was a tapasvi.
ये आरएसएस वाले हर हर महादेव तो कभी नहीं कहते. अब देखो, नोट करो, कभी नहीं कहते. ये क्यों नहीं कहते? नहीं, मैंने सोचा इसके बारे में, क्यों नहीं कहते हर हर महादेव, क्यों नहीं कहते? नहीं, क्योंकि शिव जी तपस्वी थे और ये हिंदुस्तान की तपस्या पे आक्रमण कर रहे हैं, इसलिए हर हर महादेव नहीं कह सकते.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
And joining us in the debate, we have with us Nalin Kohli, national spokesperson of the BJP. Ishkaran Bhandari is also with us. He is an advocate. Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst, joining us on the broadcast. Kamaruzzaman Chaudhary is the leader of the Congress. And we also have with us Acharya Pramod Krishna, a leader of the Congress as well. Let me begin with you. Nalin Kohli, the latest remark coming in from Rahul Gandhi. The latest remark goes that people from the RSS never say Har Har Mahadev because Lord Shiva was a tapasvi. He's taken it one notch further as far as the tapasvi debate is concerned. Nalin Kohli.
Sometimes one wonders, how do you react to Rahul Gandhi's gems or these pearls of wisdom? When Har Har Mahadev, RSS does not say. I mean, anyone who has belief in Lord Shiva, irrespective whether he or she is a member of the RSS or any other organization or in their individual capacity, invokes Lord Shiva often by saying Har Har Mahadev. I mean, I'll do it on your channel right now. As a BJP member, Har Har Mahadev with pleasure. I'd say it 100 times out of respect to Lord Shiva. For Rahul Gandhi to do his politics, does he have to keep dragging the name of Hindu gods? And it raises a serious question. One of my colleagues, in fact, I can't recall who, asked a question that Mr. Rahul Gandhi actually is born of mixed heritage. Neither of his parents were Hindu as such. Perhaps his father was Parsi, his mom, Mrs. Gandhi, in any case, is from Italy, and she must have been a Roman Catholic or at least practices Christianity. So, I mean, he always is invoking the Hindu gods. What's his problem? I mean, you want to do your politics, please go ahead. Please say what you wish to say on the RSS. Article 19 permits you to say so. But why do you drag in Hindu gods, and in this case, Lord Shiva?
Okay. Tehseen Punawala.
What an argument.
Tehseen Punawala.
Tapasvi, they don't invoke his name.
I want Tehseen to respond to that point. Tehseen, Rahul Gandhi repeatedly makes these controversial comments. That's what the BJP is saying. And once again, these comments that are, many would say, offensive to Hindus. That's at least the position that the BJP has taken on the show and earlier in the day as well. Your response to that, Tehseen?
I often say one thing about the BJP. ऐसा कोई सगा नहीं जिसको भाजपा ने ठगा नहीं. From Hindus to Muslims to every single Indian, the BJP is a con job. Now let's explain one thing about each. My wife is a devotee of Lord Shiva. My wife was extremely offended. And I know Nalinji does believe my wife is a Hindu. When you say Har Har Modi, why Har Har Modi? How can you compare the most honorable Prime Minister to Lord Shiva? He is the Prime Minister, respect him. But Har Har Modi, this is not an insult. Point number 2. I'm not going to get into what Naresh Agarwal said on the floor of the House about Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, Lord Ram, what Arun Jaitley said that the man should be arrested. He's the tallest leader. I'm not even going to say that on the floor of the House. Mahesh Sharma said that there is no evidence of Ma Sita. I am quoting from Times Now for the last session in Parliament. Jitendra Singh ji said that the Ram Setu, they don't know, they can't identify where is the Ram Setu. There's some structures, we don't know what it is. This is what the BJP said about the Ram Setu. Exactly what the Congress put in affidavit, the BJP said in Parliament. Therefore, I say the BJP is a con job. They are out to con everybody in this country. What is the biggest issue of our country? Whether it's Hindus or it's Muslims or it's atheists like me, lawyers like Ishkaran or leaders like Kamruji or Acharya ji. The fact is everyone is suffering in this country.
Yeah.
Everyone is suffering. That is the issue. The BJP doesn't want to talk, so they cut slice and they bring something out about Rahul.
No, but
who his father is, who his mother is, who his grandfather is, who his grandmother is. Half of it is lies made up by Deen Dayal Upadhyay WhatsApp University. Fact is, Rahul ji is asking you where are the jobs. Ram's children don't have jobs.
No, but it's a
Prophet Muhammad's children don't have jobs.
No, but if one if publicly a statement is made, Tehseen, then obviously a leader of the stature of Rahul Gandhi would have to expect comments and criticism. Maybe he would be praised, maybe he would be criticized. There are buffets and drink bars for everyone. But my question, once again, I think we're hearing
one question.
We're hearing too far.
Just one line.
Okay, very quickly.
Rahul is not so Adarsh. I agree with that. I respect. He's not Adarsh. Where Narayan Rani, who cleared the Adarsh building, is in the BJP.
Okay. I'm going to allow that question. Nalin Kohli. I'm allowing that question. You asked the question, now listen to the response. I want Nalin Kohli to respond to that. Direct charge coming in that you are raising questions of Deepak Kapoor. What about others who are in the BJP now? Nalin Kohli.
I must say that every time the Congress party or its sympathizers, as Tehseen is, he may not be a member of the party, points a finger at the BJP, ends up pointing 3 towards themselves. I think one needs to only go down to good old Google and see, was there not an indictment of General Kapoor in terms of the other scam? Is there an indictment in a similar manner? So basically, you ignore the indictment and say leave the indictment and go backwards and see the glorious past before that. But where it ended on a bad note, and mind you, that's in 2007. The BJP was not in power in 2007. So I think one needs to look at the facts before you make an allegation. And I'm sure my dear friend Tehseen would wish to reconsider what he said.
Yes, quickly. Deepak Kapoor, whatever his indictment may be, and let me grant that to you hypothetically. Narayana cleared the file today, he's in the BJP. You are today in government in Maharashtra. Why don't you demolish the Adarsh building? You won't do it because that is the hypocrisy. R.K. Singh said there is some terror. He's today a member of the BJP and he continues to maintain that statement. Kripa Shankar Singh said 2611 was an RSS conspiracy. He's a member of the BJP. Naresh Vishnu, he's a member of the BJP. Prime Minister Modi said traders take more risk than army men. He's the leader of the BJP. Therefore, I say BJP's track record itself is more than dirt. What did Jitendra Singh ji say last week in Parliament about the Ram Setu? Exactly what the Congress said on affidavit. But आप करे तो चमत्कार, कोई और करे तो
Well, to the best of my knowledge, Parliament was, adjourned Senate on the 22nd
last week as in last month. I'm sorry. Slip of the time.
It's quite some time. All right. This is a small point of order on the facts there. But let me bring in others as well. Ishkaran, I want you to come in on this entire debate because here there's questions coming in from Tehseen that what the BJP says as far as this case is concerned. And for instance, if there was a wrongdoing of General Deepak Kapoor, then certainly the CBI could have investigated it, an FIR could have been filed, legal action could have been taken. Yes, there is an indictment, but beyond that, there isn't much in terms of legal action. Why is that the case if he is indeed guilty of wrongdoing?
I come on that. Let us start on a good note. Let us start on Har Har Mahadev by Prime Minister Modi because it has been alleged that BJP doesn't speak. And here is various videos of PM Modi starting Dev Diwali by Har Har Mahadev. There is PM Narendra Modi official YouTube channel with the title Har Har Mahadev. So I do not know who briefs Rahul Gandhi or where does he search knowledge himself when he says RSS, BP does not do Har Har Mahadev. And this is a video uploaded by Prime Minister's own page and various news channels where he starts his Sambodhan by saying Har Har Mahadev. So at least let us be factually correct on times now when we are starting a debate. Now on to the other aspect of the former army chief. My views are very clear. I do not like to speak any allegation on a serving army officer or an ex-army officer, especially an ex-army chief, unless he's been duly convicted by a court of law. It's a fact he's been indicted, but it's equally a fact that as far as I could find, he's not been charge-sheeted, he's not been convicted by a court of law. So I do not like, for political purposes, allegations being put on army officers, ex-army officers. I hope, because it's equally important that if somebody is wrong or if there is a rotten apple in the army, he be definitely convicted. We are not Pakistan. We cannot have our army officers allocating slots. So if somebody is guilty, he definitely should be convicted. BJP is in power for 8-10 years. I hope if he is guilty, they will convict him, prosecute him. If he is not guilty, I don't think so. We should talk about it. That is my view on the army. Quite diverse from my views on Rahul Gandhi, where I've said he is blatantly lying on that press.
Let Kamruzaman Chaudhary respond to that.
Modi does not say Har Har Mahadev.
Kamruzaman Chaudhary, Rahul Gandhi, we played out his soundbite of what he just said. I think Ishkaran has quite clearly argued. He showed us videos also where that Har Har Mahadev slogan has been chanted. So Mr. Rahul Gandhi is being extremely economical with the truth. In fact, perhaps he is lying, is what Ishkaran Bhandari says. I want you to respond to that.
Madhav, first of all, who coined the slogan Har Har Modi? After a few years, you are going to hear Har Har
We will come to that. Sir, can you first answer the point on Har Har Mahadev? Is Mr. Gandhi now caught out on the facts?
No, it's a fact.
What is the fact? He just played out videos of people chanting Har Har Mahadev.
What Mr. Gandhi wanted to project. You have divided the country on the basis of religion, on the basis of the name of Ram. You have used Bhagwan Ram's name to divide the country. But when it comes to Har Har Mahadev, you simply chicken out and say that okay, Shiv Ji ka bhakt hai hum. But Shiv Ji ka naam lene se why are you so afraid? That is the biggest question that Rahul Gandhi
Who is afraid, sir? Who is afraid? That's what Ishkaran just played out. He just played out videos of the Har Har Mahadev slogan being chanted.
No. then you bring it as Tehsin said, you compare Har Har Mahadev with Har Har Modi. Is not that an insult to Har Har Mahadev with our Shivji?
That's a different debate. That's a different debate. That's a different debate. It's a legitimate question you can ask. There is no problem with that. But I'm talking merely about what Mr. Rahul Gandhi has said just now. And in terms of facts, at least he's been caught out, perhaps being a little economical. Wouldn't you concede, Mr. Kamruzaman Chaudhary? Would you agree to that at least?
No, Madhav, the first question that the ecosystem has been caught out was not Rahul Gandhi's Har Har Mahadev, but the fact that when he said about the Tapasvi issue, at the BJP's Pujari issue, they have been caught.
Caught where?
Why did the BJP IT cell tweet a fake news? These people, the BJP ecosystem, they try to spread out fake news all the time about Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party.
No, how have they been caught? I didn't understand your argument, sir.
Napping, because you cannot have a patent.
Can you define this tapasya? Because this tapasya is becoming a little difficult to understand. What is the tapasya exactly over here, Kamruzaman Chaudhary? What's the tapasya?
Yes, Madhav, tapasya, Rahul Gandhi has clearly explained. We are all tapasvis. We are all tapasvis, but BJP wants us to become pujaris. They are pujaris. You puja, you do puja of BJP, then you are fine in this country. If you are a tapasvi, then you have to stand in the line during demonetization. You have to stand. You have to be crushed by the railway train on the tracks during Notbandi, during COVID times. This is the tapasvi that we are suffering. But
what is the tapasya of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, sir? We still don't understand. What is this tapasya?
With the BJP, he is.
What is this tapasya, sir?
Yes, please come once again.
I'm saying, what is his tapasya? We are yet to understand.
Cleaning the country of the rot. Yes, that's the context that you need to understand. Madhav, it will take time. Don't worry. For you people to understand what Rahul Gandhi's tapasya is.
Alright. Well, I can only say that in the process of this tapasya, how many elections have been fought, how many have been won, how many have been lost, that's a matter of public record. But let me get in a quick word from Nalin Kohli on that. Nalin Kohli, Kamruzaman Chaudhary says that it is tapasya and not puja. He says that is what Rahul Gandhi is doing, that is what all congressmen are doing. Of course, we know the responses that have come in from pujaris as well as from the BJP earlier in the day on that. But still, a quick comment from you.
Well, I think perhaps in the interest of secularism, which is what the Congress party constantly holds up and says we are secular and all, perhaps Mr. Rahul Gandhi may like to from tomorrow invoke a few more religions instead of confining it only to insulting Hindu gods and raising everything in context of Hindu gods. I mean, there are global religions. I'm sure Mr. Rahul Gandhi and Mr. Kamruzaman Chaudhary would be able to assist him in finding some more icons across different religions. That might, show him why restrict everything only to the Hindu cause. So I think that would be one good way of starting in terms of what the Congress so far claims it's secularism. Instead of only denigrating and running down and finding dragging our gods down to Rahul Gandhi's level. Or rather, I must say, if you remember, Mr. Rahul Gandhi was compared to Lord Ram for wearing a t-shirt. I mean, this I must say is the most creative and most democratic and enthusiastic expression of any kind of religious fervor. That, Rahul ji wore a t-shirt, he didn't feel cold, so Bhagwan Ram ki tarah ho gaye. Wow. I mean, amazing. Lord Ram being reduced to that. And I'd like to see, honestly, anyone in the Congress say किसी और भगवान के लिए करिए किसी और धर्म के साथ. Mr. Rahul Gandhi will be the first one to stop his Bharat Jodo Yatra. I mean, there's a limit to taking what crores of people revere to the level of just some banter for the sake of making your Bharat Jodo Yatra into a news issue. Have they run out of issues for press conferences? They don't know what they wish to speak. They have no issue to talk about substantive things, except dragging Lord Ram to compare with his t-shirt and dragging Lord Shiva to compare with the RSS. I mean, there has to be some limit and there has to be some decorum with regard to their politics instead of communalizing it to this extent.
The Bharat Jodo Yatra, sir, Kohli, let me just interject out here.
Quick comment.
Understand why the BJP people are so rattled when Rahul Gandhi questions them on this particularly divisive lines. Is Ram or Bhagwan Shivji the exclusive patent of the Bharatiya Janata Party? Do we think that if Rahul Gandhi is wearing a t-shirt, if it is doing arti, if he is walking with somebody else, why are the BJP ecosystem so rattled? Today when General Deepak Kapoor walked with Rahul Gandhi, there were another 15-16 people who were walking, who were all ex-servicemen, highly decorated for their service to the country. Now Nalin Kohli and Amit Malviya, they will bring out this issue, and I thank you all. At least the national media is not showing the Bharat Jodo Yatra. At least because of these small controversies that you are bringing, Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra is being watched by millions in this world. Thank you very much, sir, once again.
So this is the fall of tapasya. Ultimately, this is the fall of the tapasya.
Super. Thank you, Mr. Chaudhary, for your honest confession on national TV.
Madam will not
Thank you for your honest confession on national TV.
We are showing it, sir. We are showing both the sides. Don't worry.
Controversy by bringing Lord Ram and Lord Shiva so that you are in the news. नहीं तो कोई न्यूज ही नहीं है, मजाक है आपका यात्रा, तो कुछ बचा नहीं, तो भगवान राम के ऊपर में कुछ कहते तो पता है कि लोग एजिटेट हो जाएंगे.
ऑलराइट, आचार्य प्रमोद कृष्ण.
कह दीजिए तो
don't worry, sir. Nalinji, don't worry about our yatra. We are
all right. Acharya Pramod Krishnam is also with us. Let me quickly bring him in. Gentlemen, I'm coming in now. Let me bring in Acharya Pramod Krishnam. Acharya Pramod Krishnam जी, आपने सुना अभी कमरू जुबान चौधरी क्या कह रहे थे? उनका कहना है कि अब तो खबर दिख रही है. तो कहीं ना कहीं बीजेपी का मानना है कि ये एक प्रयास किया जा रहा है, हेडलाइंस में आने की एक कोशिश है. इस तरह के विवादास्पद बयान देके कभी तपस्या और पूजा को कंपेयर किया जाता है, कभी ये कहा जाता है कि आरएसएस लॉर्ड शिवा से डरती है इसलिए हर हर महादेव नहीं कहती, और ये सारे फैक्ट से दूर है, ये कहना है बीजेपी का. क्या कहेंगे आप?
हाँ, देखिए माधव जी, सवाल हर हर महादेव का, सवाल जय श्री राम का, सवाल सीताराम का, सवाल जय श्रिया राम का, सवाल अल्लाहू अकबर का नहीं है. सवाल ये है कि राहुल गांधी को कैसे बदनाम किया जाए. बीजेपी राहुल गांधी अगर कोई बयान देते हैं तो उनको क्रिटिसाइज करती है, समझ में आता है. अगर राहुल गांधी कोई प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करें, कोई पॉलिटिकल इशू उठाएं, उनका विरोध करे बीजेपी, समझ में आता है. लेकिन राहुल गांधी वैष्णो देवी जाते हैं तो क्रिटिसिज्म होता है. राहुल गांधी केदारनाथ जाते हैं तो उनको कहा जाता है कि साहब राहुल गांधी ढोंग कर रहे हैं. राहुल गांधी मानसरोवर जाते हैं तब आलोचना होती है. राहुल गांधी अगर महाकाल का दर्शन करते हैं तो साहब आलोचना होती है. और हद तो तब हो गई है माधव जी कि राहुल गांधी अगर कन्याकुमारी से कश्मीर तक पद यात्रा करते हैं उसको भी क्रिटिसाइज किया जाता है. वो क्यों किया जाता है मैं बताना चाहता हूं, क्योंकि बहुत देर बाद आप आए हैं, मैं पूरी बहस को सुन रहा था. क्योंकि बीजेपी ये चाहती है कि राहुल गांधी एंटी हिंदू सिद्ध हो जाएं. बीजेपी ये चाहती है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी हिंदू विरोधी सिद्ध हो जाए. बीजेपी ये चाहती है कि राहुल गांधी और कांग्रेस पार्टी हिंदुस्तान विरोधी सिद्ध हो जाएं, एंटी नेशन सिद्ध हो जाएं. जब हिंदू विरोधी सिद्ध हो जाएंगे राहुल गांधी तो अपने आप सारे हिंदुओं को मूर्ख बना करके बीजेपी अपने पक्ष में कर लेगी. बीजेपी की पूरी साजिश, पूरी कोशिश ये है
प्रमोद कृष्ण जी,
इस देश की अकेली.
मैं एक बात इसमें आपसे पूछना चाहूंगा.
लेट मी फिनिश माधव जी.
नहीं, you can make your point. I'm not stopping you, sir. You can make your point. But just one point I want to clarify in what you have said. The reason the BJP time and again raises this issue is that they say that this happens because of political expediency. गुजरात इलेक्शन होते हैं तो टेम्पल रन शुरू हो जाते हैं, आप बड़े बड़े मंदिरों में जाना वहां शुरू करते हैं. ये कहा जाता है कि ये जनेऊधारी है और उनका गोत्र वगैरह सब सामने आने लगता है. 2014 से पहले भी वो 10 साल पॉलिटिक्स में थे, लेकिन इन सब बातों का कहीं भी जिक्र नहीं था उससे पहले. ऐसा क्यों है?
नो माधव जी, नो, गलत बात है. जिस समय राहुल गांधी मानसरोवर की यात्रा करने गए, केदारनाथ त्रासदी हुई, केदारनाथ में यात्रा करने गए, तो उस वक्त कौन सा चुनाव हो रहा था? जब राहुल गांधी वैष्णो देवी के कौन सा चुनाव हो रहा था? राहुल गांधी जब काशी विश्वनाथ के कौन सा चुनाव हो रहा था? राहुल गांधी जब मानसरोवर की यात्रा करने गए चाइना के अंदर तब कौन सा चुनाव हो रहा था? ये बात गलत है. राहुल गांधी एक अच्छे पॉलिटिशियन है. राहुल गांधी इस देश को जोड़ने का काम कर रहे हैं. और ये यात्रा केवल हिंदुओं की नहीं है, ये यात्रा केवल मुसलमानों की नहीं है. माफ करना, ये ना सिर्फ हिंदुओं की यात्रा है, ना मुसलमानों की यात्रा है. ये इंसानों की यात्रा है, ये हिंदुस्तानियों की यात्रा है. 125 करोड़ हिंदुस्तानियों की यात्रा. मैं तो नलिन कोहली जी से कहना चाहूंगा, एक अच्छे विद्वान प्रवक्ता है बीजेपी के, बहुत ही आदर करता हूं मैं उनका. मैं तो कहूंगा नलिन कोहली जी से कि एक दिन उस यात्रा में जुड़िए. और जहां तक सवाल है राहुल गांधी के इन बयानों का, तो भाई 3 महीने से राहुल गांधी लगभग 3000 किलोमीटर की पदयात्रा कर रहे हैं. वहां लाखों लोग मिले हैं.
हजारों लोगों से, हजारों डेलीगेशन से मिले हैं, लेकिन बीजेपी को क्या दिखाई दिया? एक वो पादरी दिखाई दिया जो हिंदुओं का, भारत माता का अपमान करता, एक दो ऐसे लोग दिखाई दिए जिनकी वजह से
अगर वो करें,
नेशन छवि,
अगर वो कर रहे बदनाम, अगर आप ही ने कहा कि वो बदनाम कर रहे हैं, तो उसके बारे में चर्चा नहीं होनी चाहिए।
नो, आई वांट टू से,
चर्चा नहीं होनी चाहिए आपके मुताबिक। We should not discuss it.
नलिन कोहली जी से ये कहना चाहता हूं आपके टेलीविजन के माध्यम से कि आप अपनी दृष्टि बदलिए। राहुल गांधी का कोई ऐसा काम तो होगा जिसकी आप सराहना करें। तो मेरा निवेदन आपसे ये है, इन द इंटरेस्ट
ओपन इनवाइट, मिस्टर कोहली, are you going to take that invite?
हो सकता है राहुल गांधी का, लेकिन इन द इंटरेस्ट,
there's an invitation coming in from Mr. Pramod Krishnam. I don't know if he has spoken to other members of the Congress party or not. There's an invite, there's an invitation coming for you. But important point is that he says, you can answer that, and the other important point that he says is that this is not, opportunism. This is not a Chunavi Hindu allegation that the BJP keeps making out of his own beliefs. He's saying all of this out of his own beliefs. So any kind of link to elections or politicking is wrong.
आचार्य प्रमोद कृष्णन जी, आप आचार्य हैं, क्योंकि आप हिंदी में बोले तो माधव, मैं आपकी अनुमति के साथ जरा हिंदी में ही जवाब
जी, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल जवाब
देंगे कि अंग्रेजी में ही बोलूं, क्योंकि दोनों भाषाएं मैं बोल सकता हूं। धन्यवाद। तो ऐसा है आचार्य जी, आपने दो बातें कही, बड़ी विनम्रता से कहना चाहूंगा। पहली बात आपने रखी कि नलिन कोहली जी आपका स्वागत है, आइए यात्रा में जुड़िए। हाँ, आपने अच्छा कहा, लेकिन ऐसा है राहुल गांधी जी रोज एक प्रतीक्षा में रहते हैं कि खबर किस तरह छप जाए। अब ऐसा है, अब जब खबर छापने की जिसको कहे क्षमता उनकी घट रही है, तो वो चाह रहे हैं कि भाजपा के लोग आ जाएं, तो कम से कम ये खबर बन जाएगी, देखिए भाजपा के प्रवक्ता जो है राहुल गांधी जी की यात्रा में जुड़े। देखिए, उनको अपनी यात्रा की कवरेज की चिंता है, हमें अपनी सेवा भाव राजनीति जो नरेंद्र मोदी जी की सरकार लगातार कर रही है, तो वो एक मॉडल है। ये दो अलग मॉडल हैं आचार्य जी। मोदी जी की सरकार क्या करती है भाई? रोज सुबह शाम 24 घंटे 365 दिन एक ही चीज की, कैसे गरीबों की चिंता करे, कैसे मध्यम वर्ग की करे, कैसे देश में अलग अलग जो है मैन्युफैक्चरिंग बढ़े, अलग काफी आपको बता सकता हूं, उसकी चिंता है। हमारे मंत्रियों को 1 मिनट का समय नहीं मिलता। लेकिन दूसरी तरफ एक मॉडल है कि भाई काम ना करो, एक थोड़ा सा कंट्रोवर्सी हो जाए, भगवान राम का नाम ले लीजिए, भगवान शिवा का नाम ले लीजिए, फिर कोई कह दीजिए, कल को कह दीजिए नलिन जी भी आ जाइए, तो एक न्यूज बन जाएगी किसी ना किसी को खड़ा करके। दूसरी बात आपने कहा कि कोई तो अच्छी चीज जो जी में आपको दिखती है। देखिए, ये व्यक्तिगत टिप्पणी नहीं है। मैं राहुल गांधी जी को व्यक्तिगत रूप से नहीं जानता, वो मुझे नहीं जानते, आप जानते, हो सकता है बहुत शरीफ व्यक्ति हो, बहुत अच्छे व्यक्ति हो, लेकिन हमारी पहचान नहीं है। लेकिन राजनीतिक रूप से जितने उनके एक्शन होते हैं उनमें हमेशा कुछ ना कुछ कंट्रोवर्सी खड़ी होती है। अब आप इस प्रकार का काम करेंगे जिससे ये कंट्रोवर्सी उत्पन्न होंगी, या ऐसे शब्दों का प्रयोग करेंगे जिससे मजाक उड़े, इसके लिए भाजपा को तो कम से कम दोष नहीं दे सकते ना। ये तो राहुल जी के उवाच है, राहुल गांधी जी के ज्ञान है, उन्हीं के सोचे हुए शब्द है, उन्हीं के प्रयोग किए हुए शब्द है। अब ये कहना कि भाजपा के कोई व्यक्ति उनकी रूह में अंदर घुस के वहां से शब्दों को उनके गले के माध्यम से मुंह तक लाकर वाणी से बाहर उसे उत्पन्न कर रहे हैं, तो प्रमोद आचार्य, प्रमोद कृष्णन जी, आप बहुत आगे तक इस बात को ले जाएंगे। हमारे उनके वाक्यों के साथ या उनके ज्ञान और शब्दों के, जो ज्ञानी शब्दों का प्रयोग करते हैं, कुछ लेना देना नहीं है। अब वो अच्छा लगे ना लगे, अगर मीडिया उसे उठाए, देश की जनता उसे देखे, तो हमें क्यों दोष दे रहे हैं आप?
आचार्य प्रमोद कृष्णन जी,
देखिए, नलिन कोहली जी को मैं कहना चाहता हूं, राहुल गांधी जी को किसी प्रचार की जरूरत नहीं है। राहुल गांधी बड़े पवित्र भाव से, बड़े पावन भाव से एक यात्रा कर रहे हैं, पहली बात। दूसरी बात यह है कि राहुल गांधी जी जो कह रहे हैं, राहुल गांधी जो बयान दे रहे हैं, हो सकता है कि आपको वो सूट ना करते हों। राहुल गांधी जी की अपनी विचारधारा है, महात्मा गांधी की विचारधारा, लेकिन महात्मा गांधी की विचारधारा क्या थी? रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम, ईश्वर अल्लाह तेरो नाम सबको सन्मत दे भगवान, ये गांधी की पार्टी है। और दूसरी बात मैं आपको कहना चाहता हूं कि भगवान, परमात्मा, ईश्वर, अल्लाह, गॉड, ये सब लैंग्वेजेस हैं। परमात्मा एक है,
ओके
परमात्मा हिंदुओं का है और मुसलमानों का नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता।
ओके
अल्लाह सिर्फ हिंदू मुसलमानों का है और हिंदुओं का नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता। भगवान राम सिर्फ हिंदुओं के हैं और दूसरों के नहीं है, नहीं होते। अगर ऐसा होता तो भगवान राम को मर्यादा हिंदू कहा जाता, उनको मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम कहा गया। इसका मतलब पुरुषों में सबसे उत्तम। भगवान राम सबके हैं, लेकिन प्रॉब्लम यह है माधव जी कि बीजेपी ये चाहती है कि भगवान राम पे उनका अपना आधिपत्य जमा रहे, कब्जा करना चाहते हैं राम पर, हिंदुत्व कर कब्जा करना चाहते हैं। और हिंदुस्तान कब्जा करने के लिए
Nalin, I see your hand going up, but please allow me a few moments because I think we veered off very far from the entire debate, and the core of the debate is what has happened as far as the other scam is concerned. And I just want to quickly bring in Tehseen on this point because Tehseen, you're from the state of Maharashtra, and you would very well remember the position that Mr. Rahul Gandhi had taken publicly when it comes to the Aadhar scam. And just allow me to read out a news report from the year 2013, where Rahul Gandhi had trashed the rejection of the Aadhar scam report by the then Maharashtra government, in which Congress was very much a part. In fact, he says that the Gandhi scion who publicly trashed the Maharashtra government's rejection of a judicial commission's report on Aadhar housing scam on Thursday prompted Chief Minister Prithviraj Chavan to rethink the issue. The report of the inquiry commission headed by retired Justice J.A. Patil indicted former Chief Ministers Ashok Chavan, Sushil Kumar Shinde, Shivaji Rao Patil, Nilangekar and the late Vilas Rao Deshmukh, besides state ministers, for a number of blatant violations of statutory provisions. Now, this is something that is a public position that Mr. Rahul Gandhi has taken. How is this position today tenable? How is this image today tenable? Tehseen.
I actually agree 100% with what you said, and that is exactly what we are saying. That Rahul Gandhi took a very public position in Adarsh. There was a tinge of a scam raised. He said this is about our army veterans and we will not tolerate it. Then the Congress lost power in Maharashtra. Since then has been a BJP government, except for 2 years during COVID when there was a NDA government. But more or less there's been a BJP government since then. Now, a couple of things. The Supreme Court ordered for a demolition of the building while the BJP now demolished. Point number one. Amongst the various state ministers, there are two names. One is Narayan Rane, one is the BJP MP, Mr. Sancheti. Why the BJP? Why do they continue to be in the BJP? Why is Narayan Rane in the BJP? Point number three. Now let's come to the issue at hand. About Deepak Kapoor, I actually agree with what Ishkaran Bandari said. He's an ex-army chief. We should not bring army into politics. But the most honorable Prime Minister, whom we all have a lot of respect, in 2017 in Gujarat, about the same army chief said that this army chief was in a conspiracy, which is treason, to throw his government, to overturn his government. This is the honorable Prime Minister. When the Prime Minister says something, you take it as a word of God because he's saying that there's treason against him. What action have you taken against Deepak Kapoor? Forget action. Arun Jaitley ji apologized on the floor of Parliament for saying this. So time and again, all that the BJP has done is maligned our armed forces. I have several differences with Nalin sir and with Ishkaran Bandari. But none of us will ever malign the armed forces. What the
I want Ishkaran
is playing with fire.
I want Ishkaran to respond to this. Ishkaran, the public positions have been taken, and now of course Tehseen has referred to several other aspects, but I want you to respond to both those points. Is Mr. Rahul Gandhi's position today tenable comparing what he said 9 years ago?
Mother is saying Rahul Gandhi's position today is saying Har Har said by BJP. By YouTube videos. So what is Rahul Gandhi's position on Hindu versus Hindutva, on Tapasvi versus Pujari? Frankly, it is very difficult to understand what he wants to convey. And the voter has been reduced to this case. And I started by saying that yes, it's a factual aspect that General Kapoor has been indicted by a court of inquiry, but the court of inquiry then said CBI also has been recommended not to be given certain posts. That is also the government to do. So having a cloud hanging over such an important topic is not in the interest of the nation. I don't like to bring any army or to cast aspersions unless it is duly proven in a court of law, and that onus is of course on the government. They should prosecute and prove it one way or the other. Because the nation.
Question once again coming on the doorstep of the government. Nalin Kohli. Yeah, we know Ishkaran does not lean anywhere close towards the Congress party, but even he's saying that perhaps there should have been a probe. Perhaps this matter should have been gone into more deeply. Nalin.
Tehseen is very kindly 3 times during this debate brought up why no action has happened on the Aadhar scam. We know he leans towards the Congress party. There was an MBA government in which the Congress was part of the government for 2.5 years. So what were they doing? Sleeping the sleep of Rip Van Winkle. So these are convenient arguments. These are arguments of convenience, not conviction. These are arguments of digression. These are arguments to obfuscate the issue away from the fact that they've today faced an embarrassment because someone who was well named in that scam walked next to Rahul Gandhi, who's a sort of a Shakti Peeth, if we may call it, of the Congress party. But that's for them to judge. The other version, there are two versions to this. That's one aspect. The other one is that perhaps Mr. Rahul Gandhi prefers to have people who create a controversy for his yatra to become relevant in terms of media coverage and space.
Is that what's happening?
And that's also a media strategy, media coverage strategy. And many people do. Well, I'm prone to believe it's this. For the reason being, and we must thank Acharya Pramod Krishnan for that, he himself pointed out that there is someone in Chennai whose views on Hinduism were absolutely rabid and vitriolic, and Rahul Gandhi ji chose to spend time with him. There have been a number of so-called artists who have found themselves in the middle of the yatra. There are reports on the social media, I don't know whether it's true or not, but there are certainly reports on the social media that indicate people have been planned to be brought.
Let me put that question across to Tehseen, and I want Tehseen to respond to that, because I think that's a very important point. Is this we certainly don't know whether this is a deliberate strategy, but I have to ask Tehseen the simple point that at the end of the day, does Congress party and Mr. Rahul Gandhi not bear the responsibility if individuals like this controversial pastor George Ponnaya, and this is not the first time that he's made controversial comments, it's happened several times in the past, or whether it's persons such as General Deepak Kapoor or it is others who have participated in the yatra. There are of course political leaders in Jammu and Kashmir whose own positions are very well known when it comes to terror or the soft separatist line that they take. People will ask questions, Tehseen Poonawalla, as to what is really happening. Is this a conscious choice, as Nalin Kohli is alleging?
And that is democracy. They must ask questions. They must ask extremely tough questions. I actually welcome those tough questions, except that when the most honorable Prime Minister, the same General Deepak Kapoor, made allegations, he was forced to apologize on the floor of Parliament. So why did the BJP apologize if it made allegations of treason? No less than treason. There can be nothing more than treason in our country. Let's take the bull by the horns. I agree completely with what Acharya ji said, that none of these people, if anyone is rabid, has no place in Bharat Jodo, whose intentions, in my opinion, is noble. But by the same yardstick, and rightly we're criticizing Rahul Gandhi for that, when the BJP MP on the floor of Parliament says there is no evidence of Ma Sita, or says there is no evidence of Ram Setu on the floor of the House last month in the session in Parliament, why does the BJP or that onus not come on the most honorable Prime Minister? Because the BJP insulates itself. Let me come to the third part. You spoke about Kashmir. I presume you spoke about Mehbooba Mufti. The same Mehbooba Mufti in an alliance with the BJP, well, they 4 lakh rupees to Burhan Wani's family. The BJP gave it. You still not arrested and filed a charge sheet against those people who said, Afzal hum sharminda hai, tere qatil zinda hai. You still not filed a charge sheet. By the way, the Afzal Guru was hanged when Congress was in government. So the BJP's track record has much to speak about. I'm asking the question which Nalinji does not answer.
Sir, where is Kanhaiya Kumar today?
Out of power in Maharashtra. Kanhaiya Kumar, filed a charge sheet and...
Which party does he belong to, sir?
I'm asking you one question. 2014 Congress went out of power in Maharashtra. 2014 to 2019 BJP in power, both in Maharashtra and the centre. Why CBI not filed a charge sheet in Adarsh? Why did you take Narayan Rane, sir?
Okay. Quick closing comments.
I'm saying Congress is
quick closing comments from Nalin Kohli. Almost out of time. All right, you made some points. Now I'm going to let Nalin respond to that. Yes, Nalin Kohli.
Madhav, how many years did it take for the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case to happen? How many years did it take for the Indira Gandhi assassination case to close? I mean, in all fairness, that's the legal process. So this also shows that these are arguments of convenience, not conviction. And I think that's the basic difference between the politics of the Congress and the politics of the BJP. One side there's conviction, the other side there's convenience. One side there's performance, the other side there is family-oriented subservience. And they want to generate news, we wish to serve. It's a different model. They are entitled to theirs, we are entitled to ours.
All right, we'll have to leave it there at the moment. Two different models, says Nalin Kohli, but I'd like to thank all our guests for joining us. Nalin Kohli, Ishkaran Bhandari, as well as Kamruzaman Chaudhary and Acharya Pramod Krishnan. Tehseen and in fact Kamruzaman also stay with us for debate number 2 on the News Hour.
And this is in fact from poll-bound Karnataka, where in fact elections are on the corner. Karnataka has clearly turned into a battleground, facing fire after Congress Neta's son was arrested by NIA for having alleged ISIS link. The Congress today was irked by a book on Siddaramaya's tenure as the Chief Minister of the state. The book contains controversial and commonly sensitive issues and incidents linked to Siddaramaya, or at least references to them. This book, backed by the BJP, takes a dig at Siddaramaya's chief ministerial aspirations and mocks his alleged stand on several issues, even on occasion comparing him to Tipu Sultan. It clearly shows how the administration would be if Siddaramaya, or at least alleges what it would be if he is the chief minister. Now, very clearly, there are a number of controversial issues that have been covered as far as this particular book is concerned, from terror to several chants that have been made in the past. But listen into the reactions coming in.
This book is about the 5-year tenure of Siddaramaya. So 2013 to 2018. So whatever he has done, be it achievements or failures. So it is a compilation of all those things. So they have very clearly, they have taken the facts. The facts have been collected by newspapers, by various documents. So they have compiled the facts, they have written the articles. It is a compilation of the articles on the 5-year tenure of the Chief Minister Siddaramaya. The book is not about only anti-Hindu sentiments. It is also talking about anti-Lingayat, anti-Okkaliga, anti-Dalit.
And Siddaramaya camp may have got legal aid today as the book release was stayed by the court. But can Congress stamp out the terror bloc? Where a Congress Neta's son was just arrested a few days ago, and the Congress said that the NIA is being misused by the centre as Polzania. DK Shiv Kumar had termed Mangaluru blast as a mistake. Salman Khurshid on record has said that Sonia Gandhi wept after the Batla House encounter. The Congress says that BJP's book attempt is a face saver ahead of the polls. Listen.
BJP last 3 years, they could not find anything. They know that they have lost their game. Their days are numbered. If they had, Siddaramaya had done anything wrong, or any Congress government had done anything wrong, they have exhibited from the past 3 years. Who stopped them? Now elections are coming. The people are rejecting. Now they are trying to show that they want to find some fault.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 2 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Listeners across to our guests joining us, we have with us Vivek Reddy, spokesperson of the Karnataka BJP. Also with us is Anurag Naidu, political analyst. Joining us as well is Bhavya Narsimhamurthy, spokesperson of the Karnataka Congress. Tehseen Poonawala and Kamruzaman Chaudhary continue to be with us. Let me start with you first, Bhavya Narsimhamurthy. Let me begin by asking you, the allegation coming in is that, Mr. Siddaramaya and the Congress party cannot really take away from what has happened in recent days. The fact that the son of a Congress leader has been arrested in a very, very high profile terror case itself is a very, very serious allegation. Now, at the end of the day, this is something that the Congress may be wanting to wipe off the taint, but certainly the BJP is raising this issue time and again. Your response to that, Bhavya Narsimhamurthy?
My response to that is why is BJP diverting? Isn't it the issue they should be working on? Why release this book which has no truth to its credit whatsoever? In fact, this book they don't even tell us who the writer of this book is. And a sitting minister of Karnataka government goes to release this and gets embarrassed because the court brings a stay on this book.
No, but the point is, if they are referring to policy positions that Siddaramaya has taken, the BJP for its part, and in fact we have a BJP spokesperson here who can respond to that, they say that they are justified because they are critiquing the appeasement policy under the Siddaramaya regime, and he was the chief minister for 5 years.
You know, if they really speak about the policies, they can always speak about Annabhagya, Kshira Bhagya, Indira Canteen, and all the policies meant for students and youth, including the scholarships and midday meals, including milk in midday meals. These are the real policies that Siddaramaya government brought in and helped the downtrodden and the last person in Karnataka. Every individual, his policies has reached. every individual, of every community.
Yeah, but ma'am, if those policies are very successful, Mr. Siddaramaiah would have continued as Chief Minister. That clearly didn't happen. Vivek Reddy, please come in.
Well, Madhav, I think it is an appraisal of what Mr. Siddaramaiah has done over all these years, and particularly when the Congress was in power. The appraisal is also essential. It is essential that people know what the true man is, what this real person Siddaramaiah is. Well, the appeasement politics had reached such ridiculous proportions that they wanted a Jayanti for Tippu, they wanted a holiday for Tippu, and they praised Tippu no end, and they twisted and distorted history just for political ends. They had a Shadi Bhagya and they wanted to divide the Lingayats. Well, this is the legacy of Siddaramaiah. All that we are saying is, look at the incident that happened with the Congress, with the Congress leader's son being arrested for an NIA probe for terrorism. Well, all that we are telling people is, this sort of appeasement politics is going to ignite terrorism. This is dangerous for the country. Therefore, please don't vote Siddaramaiah. If there is so many bhagyas that he has done, as Bhagya Narasimurthy said, well, it is for them to project it. But by Siddaramaiah coming to power, there is going to be a threat and danger to the country. That is what we have pointed out.
Okay, we are doing this in national interest. The appeasement politics has cost the state dearly in the past. Bhagya Narasimurthy, respond to him.
You know, I just wonder why they're so obsessed with what Siddaramaiah is dreaming about. Don't you think, being in power for the past 3 years, BJP was supposed to show the people what is it they have done in the past 3 years and what is their dream for the next 5 years if they come to power? Don't they have CM candidates who have dreams at all? Why? Why Siddaramaiah? Why are you people so desperate?
How dangerous it is to vote Siddaramaiah.
What he did or what he dreams. Who are you to tell people what his dreams are in future?
Because Tippu is a killer. According to history, Tippu was responsible for mass murders and homicide.
So why did
mass genocide. But Siddaramaiah is trying to project him as a hero. And this distortion of history, we have had enough of it. If Siddaramaiah is going to come to power, this sort of a legacy will continue. There will be more such incidents and it is going to be a threat to the country. What about the PFI cases that he has released? He has dropped about 3,000 PFI cases against the Popular Front of India.
Okay.
Bhagya Narasimurthy ji, please understand.
Okay, let me come in.
Danger for this country.
Let me come in. Let me come in. One by one. Bhavya and Vivek, I'm going to come to both of you. The other hands going up. I want to quickly go across to other panelists as well. Yeah. Just a minute, please. Just a minute. Tehseen's hand is also going up. Tehseen, you know, the larger question that is being raised over here by the BJP is that they say, we know what has happened in Siddaramaiah's regime in the past and therefore we are warning people. Now, it's another matter entirely that the court has ultimately stop this book from being released because it is too defamatory in nature, is very clearly what the court has observed. But the point is, it has sparked off a massive row and there is a context in which all of this is happening, and the context is the allegation and the chance that BJP gets time and again to say that organizations such as PFI, or whether it is in fact the various policies of the government, you know, observing Tippu Jayanti, something that no one had done before, you know, that clearly shows a pattern of appeasement. That's the allegation coming in from BJP. Tehseen.
I was in Karnataka only recently because of that Pragya Thakur incident and the FIR and all of that. And everyone that I met in Karnataka would say one thing, though they're not very fluent in Hindi, they would say this in Hindi in Karnataka. Sabse badi bhool Kamal ka phool. Everyone in Karnataka. I'm only quoting from Times of India, nowhere else. I don't quote from Deen Dayal Upadhyay WhatsApp University. Much say that they are forced to pay 30% commission. This is the 40% commission sarkar. Much they give 30, they take 30% from much. This is they talk about Hinduism. Again, I'm quoting from Times of India, not Deen Dayal Upadhyay WhatsApp University. Mr. Katyal, the BJP, please don't interrupt me. Please don't interrupt me. Please don't interrupt me when I expose you on national TV. Have some manners. This is the Times of India. Mr. Katyal. Mr. Katyal, Madhav, I request your protection, otherwise they will attack me.
Okay,
Mr. Katyal says...
Come to the point. Come to the point at hand.
I'm coming to the point. Mr. Katyal says, do not talk about development, talk only about love jihad. Why is this? As a Congress spokesperson, she says rightly and articulately, yes, the Congress in 2018 did not form the government. Yes, they lost the election. But सबसे बड़ी भूल कमल का फूल. Today you have nothing to showcase about yourself. Therefore you make a fake price. One last line. In the last 3 months, Karnataka is having a border dispute with Maharashtra, with Goa. Karnataka's investments are flowing out. The highest investments flown out of India is from the great state of Karnataka. That is what they've reduced it for. Therefore, they're creating this bogey of terror only because there's nothing at stake.
All right. Lot of hands going up. Yes, Vivek wants to quickly respond to you, then I go across to others. Yes, Vivek.
Yes, Madhav, you know,
it's okay, Tehseen, you made your point. Let others respond now, please.
We have seen it enough on national television. We have seen enough of these arguments of Tehseen Poonawalla in national television to say that he has spoken to everybody in Karnataka. What sort of some realism must be there in what he speaks. It is so absurd. Today, people in Karnataka want BJP to come back to power for various causes and reasons. But they don't want Siddaramaiah to come back to power because of these very reasons that is being projected in this book on the dreams of Siddaramaiah. And please don't comment on the sort of investments that are coming into Karnataka. Even till today, Karnataka remains the number one destination for investments, for NRI investments.
Number one because it's all gone out.
Offshore investments from various
countries.
Outflows
the highest.
Therefore, please, and you never met the argument about Siddaramaiah's legacy. You never met that argument. You are skirting around the hedges on various other issues. Is that an answer?
I just have one question.
Okay.
I just have one question. How does the BJP get into Siddaramaiah's dreams and know what he dreams about? I want all of us today to notice magic. Only the BJP can get into somebody's dreams.
Because of what he has done.
This country is going through a nightmare.
Because of what he has done. It is so obvious. The vision of a man who wanted a Tipu Jayanti. Who dropped 3,000 cases of PFI. That is a vision of a man. You don't have to look into the dreams. It is there. The conduct is there. The evidence is there. What more do you want? Please go and read and see what all he has done as part of appeasement politics. Mr. Siddaramaiah could only see one segment of society. He could not see the other segments. That's the problem.
Okay, let me just come in here. Incidentally, Tehseen, since you mentioned it, I thought it was quite obvious, but there was a very famous play by Girish Karnad called Dreams of Tipu Sultan, and I think that's why it's being called a satire by the BJP, and that's the context in which he's actually making those comments, or the BJP is at least in any case. But let me bring Kamru Zaman Chaudhary.
It's satire.
Yeah.
The BJP satire.
Okay.
The BJP satire is the big joke party.
Tehseen Poonawalla, let others come in, please. Let me request you, sir. Please calm down. There are others also. You can go to a political rally. You can call people. You can give a speech there. Let's not make this a political platform. Please, we are having a decent civilized debate, and there are others who have not yet spoken. Please allow them their turn to speak as well. Kamru Zaman Chaudhary, simple question is this: that here, each person is saying that this is a diversionary tactic. But here you have the BJP which says that it is the Congress that has to explain these terror links that have come out, and that this protest is nothing but a smoke screen. That's the allegation coming in from the BJP. Is it not a serious question that deserves a response?
Now, today's debate, Madhav, is a very serious debate. I am just bringing out a connection between rather a toolkit brought about by the BJP ecosystem today, when I will quote you the book of Accidental Prime Minister, the movie on Accidental Prime Minister, and today this book on Siddaramaiah ji. All of them have a connection to character assassinate the Congress leaders. We have got the country's best Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, which these people tried to assassinate him by releasing that Accidental Prime Minister movie. Can I ask you, Mother, what happened to the Namo TV? These are all marketing gimmicks brought about by the BJP. They have no answer to the 40% commission CM. They have no answer to the hijab issue that is rocking the Karnataka. They have no issue to the other issues that are plaguing the state of Karnataka and the people of Karnataka.
Okay.
They failed on all fronts of governance in Karnataka.
Okay.
Now to divert it, now they will bring up
now they are diverting. Exactly what I feared, because that was exactly my question. But let me get in Anurag. One second. Vivek, let Anurag come in now. Anurag, number of questions that are actually, that are being raised here by the Congress, that this is just an attempt to divert from the track record of governance. And that's a point that Bhavya also made while she was making her opening remarks over there, that this is a government that should be talking about its own schemes, its own achievements, yet all it does is attack the leaders of other political parties. That's the argument. Please respond to that, Anurag.
No, I think, Madhav, we have entered an election season, and, the reaffirmation comes from none other than Tehseen Poonawalla in this panel himself when he said "Sabse bada bool Kamal ka phool." And if it's so be it. I mean, if it's an election season, there is BJP that has come up with a book, and if you can't put a rebuttal to it, all these years you have been telling Tipu Jayanti manayenge, Tipu Mahan hai, Tipu ye hai. Ye cheez likha hai. If you cannot counter that, and you're getting jittery, you're feeling jittery, and you're coming up with election sloganing, and if somebody else is preparing better for the elections, you can't take it. So I mean, there have been movies in the past as well in Andhra. We've seen distortions. I mean, if you have any kind of an issue, you go and fight against it. All the 5 years you said Tipu ka Jayanti manayenge, and there was a stand. BJP took the stand, and they put their view. What is their understanding? If people wants to buy it, they will buy it. If people want to reject it, they will reject it. मुझे तो ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा कि कांग्रेस का हाथ तो है, लेकिन किसका हाथ किसके साथ है ये समझ में नहीं आता. Last time around 15 of the Congress MLAs joined BJP.
Okay, let me bring it. Bhavya, कांग्रेस का हाथ तो है, लेकिन किसके साथ है? Last closing question for Bhavya. Bhavya, simple question is this: that the way that Congress is reacting, is it now decided that Mr. Siddaramaiah is the CM face? Because he in any event has announced it, if I'm not mistaken, today.
They have made it very clear, and the High Command and Siddaramaiah sir or every CM candidate here. We are going to contest this election as a party, and then the MLAs will decide and the High Command will decide who will be the Chief Minister. On one hand, if the one more reason I forgot
this
to
is
mention
Mr. Rahul
is
Gandhi who will declare it, or it is Mr. Kharge?
They can also decide to support
High Command includes a committee which is headed by the President.
Okay. So it's a committee that is headed by the President. But Mr. Siddaramaiah doesn't. Mr. Siddaramaiah has unilaterally announced himself as a CM face today, and I think that's there on record as well. Interesting in the context of what's happening on ground there. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. Bhavya Narasimhamurthy, Anurag Naidu, as well as Vivek Reddy, Tehseen Poonawalla, Kamruzaman Chaudhary for joining us. It's going to be an interesting election in Karnataka that's scheduled for the month of May. Pranesh Kumar Roy will join you on the news hour at 10 in just a few moments. Stay tuned.
The News Hour at 9 will be right back after the break.
The smartphone category in India is anyway popular, right? उसमें भी जो 20 से 25 हजार वाले स्मार्टफोन्स हैं वो और भी ज्यादा पॉपुलर हैं. शायद इसीलिए Infinix ने आज अपना 020 स्मार्टफोन लॉन्च कर दिया है. I have the smartphone with me right here और इसको आज करेंगे unbox. Hi, you're watching Gadget Time. This is me, Pavni Jain, and it's time for me to unbox this device और देखते हैं फोन में आपको क्या-क्या contents दिखाई देंगे. Let's begin.
You're watching the News Hour at 9.
Supreme Court refused to scrap panels formed by Gujarat and Uttarakhand to bring in uniform civil code. Said state has power to set up committees for matters on which they make laws. As thousands of lives continue to remain affected by the Joshimath tragedy, locals hit the streets protesting against the administration for not looking after their demands. Court will hear the plea filed by Swami Saraswati seeking immediate intervention of the top court to provide urgent relief to people of Joshimath tomorrow. 3 days after brawl in MCD House over mayor polls, AAP staged a protest against BJP outside the BJP headquarters. BJP also staged a counter-protest by marching to CM Kejriwal's residence. Some leaders were detained and police used water cannons to disperse crowd. While hearing the plea on forced conversion, the Supreme Court observed that religious conversion is a serious issue that should not be given a political color. A few days after the shocking incident of urination in a drunk state on board an Air India flight, 2 passengers have been arrested for consuming alcohol in a Patna-bound Delhi Indigo flight. In the ICICI Bank Videocon loan fraud case, Bombay High Court has allowed release of former ICICI CEO Chanda Kochar and husband Deepak Kochar from judicial custody after CBI arrest, saying arrest not in accordance with the law.
You were watching the News Hour at 9. Stay tuned.
Let's get it started, yeah, you know it's game time. Ain't no excuses tolerated while you can't grind. It's like you're on the job, you know that team.
Hello everyone, ये है बजाज की नई पल्सर P150. इन केस यू वंडरिंग 150 ऑलरेडी मौजूद है, तो इस P वर्जन को लाने का कारण क्या है, मतलब क्या है? सो कारण बहुत सारे हैं, डिजाइन को लेकर, फीचर्स को लेकर और कुछ हद तक परफॉर्मेंस को लेकर भी इस P वर्जन में बदलाव देखने को मिलते हैं. तो क्या है वो सारे बदलाव इस नई पल्सर P150 में, उन सभी के बारे में मैं आपसे बात करने वाला हूं इस रिव्यू के अंदर. और रिव्यू के एंड में बात करेंगे 3 धांसू और 3 नॉट धांसू एलिमेंट्स मुझे क्या लगते हैं इस बजाज पल्सर P150 के बारे में.
Good evening, hello and welcome. You're watching the Newshour agenda. The war of words over language, linguistics and local pride today spilled onto speech in Tamil Nadu. Unprecedented drama was witnessed in the state assembly as DMK and its allies raised slogans like "Long live Tamil Nadu" and "Our land is Tamil Nadu" during Governor R.N. Ravi's address. The sloganeering viewers came as a protest against the governor's recent remark that the name of Tamil Nadu should be changed to Tamilagam, accusing him of perpetuating saffron agenda. The parties then staged a walkout.
Where is a separate state? Where is a question of separate state? Tamil Nadu Chief Minister said anything? Any minister said? You want to introduce the RSS agenda? You want to do the RSS politics in Tamil Nadu? That's why it's creating problem. He is simply exhibiting or expressing RSS ideology, whose ideology is there should be only one government, the union government, and all other states should be administered territories. So Tamil Nadu he has started. So this shows how Mr. R.N. Ravi has stooped the governor's office to the lowest ebb.
Governor Mr. Ravi wants to change Tamil Nadu to Tamilagam, which is eventually affecting our sentiments. So we have boycotted the session today, the governor's speech. See, this is a modus operandi of the BJP. They rule the democratic governments using the governors.
It shows the diversionary tactics of Mr. Ravi, who has linkages with the ruling party, and it shows the diversionary politics of BJP to divert from the real issues. The demand is not from the ground. Demand is from Delhi. They wanted to divert from the real issues.
Now the next round of slugfest was triggered by the governor as he allegedly skipped references to Tamil Nadu and Dravidian ideology in his speech that was prepared by the state, after which Chief Minister Stalin moved a resolution urging the speaker to declare as valid only the text prepared for the governor's address and not what he had read out. Then the unprecedented happened. The assembly witnessed the governor walk out in apparent disagreement just as the Chief Minister concluded his speech, even before the national anthem was played. After the assembly adopted the resolution, the BJP Tamil Nadu President K. Annamalai said that governor's speech in assembly is not a DMK party event and it can't be expected to parrot their line.
Right from the Sangam literature and historical context, the word Tamilagam is used. It is not a new word. Last 2000 years we are using this word. And the DMK government, when they came to power for the first time, the word Tamil Nadu came. The governor, in one of his speech in the Raj Bhavan, he just made a speech where both the words are in motion, and as per his suggestion, he felt Tamilagam would be an appropriate word. That is the governor's opinion. And even now, a common man in Tamil Nadu, many context uses Tamilagam, many context uses Tamil Nadu. There is no need for DMK to take offense to it. The Honorable Governor was present in the Assembly today. It was completely unnecessary by the DMK parties, especially Congress, PCK party, Communist party. They staged a walkout even before the governor started his governor's speech, which is very unfortunate, sir.
This showdown comes days after the governor stoked a controversy as he suggested a new name for the state. The governor, while calling Dravidian politics regressive, said that Tamilagam is a more appropriate name for the state.
Here in Tamil Nadu, a different kind of narrative has been created. Everything that for the whole of the country which is applicable, Tamil Nadu here will say no, we are not. Anything you say, they will say no, we are not. It has become a habit. You know, and the truth is that we are all one. It's a part of Bharat, and in fact, Tamil Nadu. In fact, Tamil Nadu is the one place. Let us say Tamilagam is more appropriate. This land keeps the soul of Bharat, the identity of Bharat, the idea of Bharat.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Let's quickly open this up, viewers. Vinod Selvam, spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, SS Sriram, political analyst, Kovai Satyan, spokesperson of the AIADMK, Salim Dharnadhiran, spokesperson of the DMK, and Asan Maulana is MLA, deputy whip of the Congress Party. Now, good evening, gentlemen. Mr. Salim Dharnadhiran, let me begin by asking you the most fundamental question in all of this. What point or what step of the governor or the DMK and all your allies so much that you are now wanting him sacked?
See, the problem with the governor is not just with Tamil Nadu, it's not unique to Tamil Nadu. Most or nearly all non-BJP ruled states have problem with governors. So the message from the union government is that to trouble the non-BJP states from functioning using governors. This Tamil Nadu governor has put more than 20 bills on hold. Some of them are in abeyance for more than a year. We follow a Westminster system. As per Westminster system, the governor is equal to the then Queen, now the King. So, have you ever seen in Britain ever a bill being not accepted by the then the Queen or being put in abeyance? No. So he has no rights. As per Article 200, there are only 3 options. One, he has to immediately sign it or send it back to the Council of Ministers. But the Council of Ministers will send it back to him, he will have to sign, and only if it undermines the position of the High Court, that is for administrative purposes, only then he can send it to the President for consultation. But this governor has put all the bills on hold, and this is not unique to Tamil Nadu. It's happening in Kerala, it's happening in Telangana, it's happening in West Bengal. We saw in Maharashtra when the previous regime was in power, the speaker was not appointed for more than a year. So why are the governors behaving like the stooge of Union BJP government? And secondly, this governor is distorting history. He's speaking half truth. Why is he doing all this? This is not a job. And today he was vindicated. Why did he deviate from the norm? Why did he digress from the norm? In the norm, from the history, is that the governor would speak what is given by the incumbent government, that is DMK government now. But he has chose to omit Dravidian model. He has even omitted a paragraph. It says because of improving law and order in Tamil Nadu, FDI investments are pouring into the state. He has omitted that. He has omitted the name of Arinyar Anna, Periyar, Kalaignar. He has also omitted terms such as women empowerment, social justice, secularism, etc., etc. This has never happened. This is unconstitutional. This is the first time this is happening in Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly, that the governor chose to speak what he wants to speak and modify the speech that was already agreed, and speech which he is bound to speak on, he did not follow that. So we listened to the governor. Our MLAs were listening to the governor until the end of the speech. Only after he finished, our chief minister said whatever was there originally will be into the.
No, but by doing that, the BJP says by doing that, by the fact that the chief minister asked the speaker to intervene and adopt the original text, you insulted the governor. That is what the BJP is saying. And let me bring in Mr. Vinod Selvam. Mr. Vinod Selvam, the charge from the DMK is, look, that this is part of an agenda. The governor has been sent by the central government to trouble the non-BJP government in Tamil Nadu.
No, not Tamil Nadu, everywhere.
See, let me first... Okay, so it's my turn to speak, so I think it's better you keep quiet for a while. So it is really funny that the DMK spokesperson was talking about the system of Westminster. I think he just got a little confused because the system of Westminster is still prevalent only in the DMK party, where the grandfather was a CM once, the father is CM now, the son is a minister, and the entire family is full of MPs and MLAs. So the system of Westminster only applies to your family, the DMK family, and not to the rest of the country. We've forgotten that. Now moving on. Today the governor, the DMK unfortunately expects him to be a mouthpiece of the Dravidian of the DMK party. But he is no spokesperson of your party. He is there to communicate facts, and he is not going to be lying. Whatever lie you write and give it to him, he is not bound by any rule to go and repeat the lies that you give to him. You are saying that the law and order in Tamil Nadu is so beautiful and perfect. What happened to the lady constable who was troubled, the lady police officer who was troubled in Virugambakam in Chennai in broad daylight when your MPs were standing on stage by your party men? What about that? What about the various instances of petrol bombs being hurled on BJP men? 25 petrol bombs were hurled when the PFI was banned. Now, do you call this a state where law and order is perfect and beautiful? Is this your definition of good law and order? And you give beef numbers on foreign direct investment and you want the governor to come and lie. This is not a DMK manifesto which is trying to speak. It's not a DMK manifesto which you give it to him and you expect the governor to go up and speak. You have enough ministers to do the psychophancy. The governor is not going to be a sycophant. And do not forget, this is the same governor to whom the chief minister, when he was the opposition leader, tore his shirt open, went and cried and cried and cried, knocked on his door over and over again when you were an opposition leader. This is the same governor to whom you kept going back to. And now where did this whole thing come that he is a BJP man and you don't want to go to him? Today, the governor is pinpointing faults, pinpointing problems. He is there to guide the state government. He is supposed to be acting as a bridge between the center and the state, and he is doing his duties perfectly, beautifully, and it's a real shame that today the DMK and its allies, especially the Congress and the Communists and other parties, made a ruckus when the governor was
that's a fairly detailed response to what Mr. Dharnadiran said. No, 1 minute. Let me get him in again. Yes, Mr. Salim Dharnadiran, the BJP is saying that, look, the governor is not supposed to parrot what you gave, what you give it to him in writing. He can't read out the party's manifesto. And I have data, examples, precedents to show that this is not the first time that the governor has drawn the line and said, look, I am not reading this because I don't agree. This has happened in the past.
See, listen. Firstly, I think he didn't get what Westminster system means. It's a system of administration through which our parliament works. So it's nothing to do with the royal family. I think he got confused. So that apart, I want to rebut one by one. He said that there are no investments coming in. This is not true. The Niti Aayog, which is run by the union government, has given Tamil Nadu third place after our government came to power. It was 17 when AIADMK, BJP's alliance partners was there. Ease of doing business, Tamil Nadu is now ranked third. Look at most of the metrics. We have improved.
But by that logic, you are saying that there is a vendetta. There is vendetta politics by the center. No, but if what you are saying is true, then there is no vendetta.
No, there is vendetta. See, because we are doing really well, how can they stop? Because when all the parameters are there, how can they stop? But the point is, how is the governor impeding us from governing? By not passing the bills. How is the union government harming the state? By not releasing the funds which should come on time. For example, AIMS, Madurai. Let's talk about AIMS, Madurai. At the same time, AIMS in Himachal Pradesh was announced. But in AIMS in Madurai, not even a brick is there. But Himachal Pradesh is complete and inaugurated.
Well, what's that got to do with this? You're mixing up things. Mr. Dharnadiran, you are mixing up things.
Why?
You know,
Why this
the
step
Niti
for
Aayog
people for
example
Tamil Nadu?
was still okay. But now you are saying, let's not get into, you know, bricks and stones. We are talking about the larger issue of protocol. Who's crossing the boundary? That's the fundamental question. Let me get in Mr. Ahsan Maulana. You are the deputy whip of the Congress. Many leaders of the Congress have today said that we are writing to the president, call this man back. He's an impediment to development and to governance. What makes you say so?
The governor has not signed the bills sent by the state government. The governor is a governing body who is not an authoritarian. He is just a bridge between the state and the center. It is his very work to receive whatever the state sends, sign it and give it back. Or else give it to the Council of Ministers where the House tells it is approved immediately. But not following any of the norms, the governor just puts the state in a scale.
Okay, so you want a rubber stamp governor?
No, nobody calls a governor a rubber stamp. The constitution has written what the governor is bound to do. We are just asking him to do what the constitution has written. So that is where we stand. Where he doesn't follow anything. Whatever happens in the state, the governor approves, the chief secretary signs it. See, you have been using all these governors to make the state topple, to make the state not do its business properly. The state business is being hung because of the governors appointed by the BJP is what we see. You see, even the Vice President of India was a governor in West Bengal. Because he acted very good to the BJP and RSS ideology in West Bengal, he is promoted as the Vice President of the country. See, these things, we are not here to fight with the center, the union government. We are here to just
let me just
allow the state to do its business.
Let me read out, Mr. Ahsan Maulana, let me read out how governors in the past have taken a position on principle. I am talking about 1983-84. The West Bengal governor was Anant Prasad Sharma. He differed with the left government over the appointments of vice chancellors, and after objection, the CM removed reference to the issue. Now, if you go further back in 1969, the West Bengal governor was Dharma Veera, refused to read parts critical of the Congress-led centre, portions about dismissal of First United Front government. In the same year in Punjab, the governor DC Pavte objected to comments critical of Congress-led centre.
Okay. Now, are you the BJP spokesperson or you are the?
I am only giving you the precedent. Now, you can call me names, Mr. Ahsan Maulana. If you run out of answers, you can call me names. You can call me the BJP spokesperson, the RSS.
Let me tell you.
Is this
let me tell you,
Mr. Maulana? What I just read out, is this true or not?
Yeah. This case.
Is this true or not?
I don't know. You're talking.
You don't know. You see, there you go.
You're talking about things which were eventually erased in the past.
Erased in the past? How was it erased?
You're talking about things when the governments were happy with the center. Today, the governments are not happy with the center. You're just trying to make things make it look like Congress did the mistake. Congress did not do any mistake.
I am only giving you the precedent. I am only giving. You are taking it personally. You are so rattled that you are calling me names. You are calling me the BJP spokesperson. Mr. Selvam is the BJP spokesperson. My job is to ask questions. Okay, let me bring in
the current Delhi governor.
Let's get in another voice. We'll come to that. We'll talk about Delhi, Kerala, Tamil Nadu. No, 1 minute. We'll talk about all these states. Kovai Satyan. Kovai Satyan, you've heard the DMK and the Congress.
You've been using all these people to topple local government using the governor.
Okay, Hassan Saab, allow the others also to speak.
Okay.
Kovai Satyan coming in.
Yeah.
Good evening, Pranesh. And congratulations on your new title. You are peddling RSS ideology and you are the new Sanghi now. And after this debate, I will be called as Sanghi. Because whenever you quote facts, then you will be branded as Sanghis. And surprising, a party is Congress, which has used Article 356 more than 40 times to topple state governments, is talking about dissolution of state governments. For the benefit of the US, I want to narrate what exactly transpired today. The busiest actor of Tamil Nadu, Mr. M.K. Stalin, want to peddle a fake narrative that could suit his political ideology and benefit, miserably failed bringing disrepute to Tamil Nadu, Tamil people and the assembly. You cannot expect the governor to be your brand ambassador and narrating the all distorted facts, figures and numbers and claiming that no, he has not read what we had given. And your fake Dravidian model doesn't have any merits. All your self-proclaimed title that you are the number one CM in the state, you are number one here, you are number one there. You cannot expect somebody at the helm of affairs like a governor who holds a constitution post to peddle your lies in the assembly. Having said that, once he is done, you cannot stand up trying to enact a drama to suit your political narrative by saying I'm going to dissolve Article 17 and trying to bring a resolution against the governor while he is seated there in the assembly. And everything goes by time. It doesn't happen unorganized. What time the governor should start, what time he should finish, and what time the national anthem will be sung. Everything goes by the timeline. Having said, the governor finished his speech on time and he was seated there waiting for the national anthem to be sung, and the CM rose to his seat, and while the governor was waiting that to be the valedictory address followed by national anthem, suddenly the resolution was brought in which is against the norm of the assembly. And not knowing the language, he was struggling for 5 minutes, not understanding what's happening on the floor. And when he called his associate and asked him what's happening, they say the resolution has been tabled against you by diluting Article 17. He chose to walk out, sending a message. And what the narrative has been sent outside is, no, he didn't choose to stay for the national anthem. He disrespected the assembly. All fake narratives, one after another. And you cannot say, I hope the fellow panelists would know what Article 163(2) says with respect to the powers.
Mr. Dharnadiran wants to respond to you. He has his hand up. Yes, then I'm coming to you, Mr. Sriram.
See, it's so funny that someone from AIDMK, that is who was in power from 2016 to 21, can talk about anything to do with administrative failure, because the worst administration in history of Tamil Nadu happened between 2016 to 2021. I'm not saying it's rhetoric because I have data. If you look at the revenue the state got as terms of GDP, for the first time ever it reduced from 11.5% to 9%, which is a clear marker of corruption. And second thing, state's revenue deficit.
Okay, this is not about the governance record of the DMK and AIDMK. We'll have that someday separately. Let's stick to the larger issue we are discussing, Mr. Dharnadiran.
No, but see, you can't come and ridicule my party.
Answer the larger question. If he's saying that you've turned the assembly into a party event, and the governor put his foot down, said no, nothing doing, and which is why you are going after him.
The governor is the one.
That's his charge.
See, you know what we are. You know what the unfortunate thing is, AIDMK has become Amit Shah DMK now. That's a problem. Because Anna was the one who stood for aggressions of the governor and for federalism. We are fighting against the aggression of this governor. He is not letting us function. Don't look this in an isolated incident. What happened last week? I'm not getting into Tamil Nadu versus Tamilagam, but what are the other things he said? He said Dravidian parties ruined Tamil Nadu in 50 years. But look at any socio-metric or industrial development. Tamil Nadu ranks number 1. So he's been peddling lies like this. He's been acting as an RSS ideologue. That is
Mr.
the problem.
Sriram, who's crossing the line here? Who's crossing the brief?
Pranesh, good evening, and to the fellow panelists. I'm sure the governor today has proved that he is not a rubber stamp, which is what the ruling dispensation and their allies claim, that he is just a rubber stamp. And he has today showed what a governor's powers are. Now, I'm quite surprised with Congress. Not long ago, they had just supported Mr. Arif Muhammad Khan in Kerala against the communists. They have said, we are not in the battle alone. We will be with you as regards to the appointment of vice chancellors. And they were the only party which probably dismissed about 97 elected governments. And coming to tutor governor and its responsibilities is quite surprising. Definitely, the governor has done what his job is. And it's not a compulsion to read what is being given. It has also mentioned that 122 fishermen were actually released by the efforts of the state government only. And if you expect the governor to read this, you mean to say the central government has no role to play to get these fishermen out of the Sri Lankan jails? I mean, if you try to peddle lies and you expect the governor to read and give you, as rightly pointed out by Mr. Satyendra, it's a trumping kind of statement. The governor, with his wisdom, has chosen not to read that. By and large, about 90% of the resolution has been read, and in certain points, by his discretionary power, he has avoided. What is wrong in this?
No, Mr. Maulana, Hassan Maulana, the governor in Kerala is doing a great job because the Congress is not in power. Nor are you sharing power there. Not that you are in power actually in Tamil Nadu. But here, Mr. Ravi puts his foot down, takes a stand, and you have a problem.
Okay. Now, when you are quoting pre-precedences, why aren't you quoting this current one? In 2016, when Sasikala wanted to form the government, she had sent a statement to Honorable Governor Vidyasagar Rao. Why wasn't she invited to even form a government? Why aren't you?
Mr. Vidyasagar Rao will, I am sure he had his advisors tell him.
Talking about presidencies, so I'm just telling you.
You called me a BJP spokesperson. I am not the spokesperson of the Raj Bhavan when he was the governor. You make up your mind, Mr. Hassan Maulana. What am I?
No, I don't know. You were talking about presidencies where Congress had done something. You're not talking about what these people are currently doing.
But you dismiss that. Let's talk about Arif Muhammad Khan and the role of the governor in Kerala.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling. We have to talk about Vidyasagar Rao. We have to talk about Banwarilal Purohit. We have to talk about Sadananda Dharma. All these people. What is happening?
No, you have no answers on Arif Muhammad Khan. Okay, let me ask you a direct question. Let me rephrase what I asked you. Is Arif Muhammad Khan doing a good job there in Kerala?
Yeah. Of course, a BJP governor will do what the BJP and RSS wants. What does the Congress?
But leaders of the Congress party have praised him. Should I read out what they've said about Arif Muhammad Khan?
On regards to what?
On many issues.
When there is an issue on the floor, or when there is an issue on the state, and suddenly by mistake, if Arif Muhammad Khan, the governor of Kerala, has worked.
But Mr. Hassan, by this logic, shouldn't this be issue specific? How are you saying that Mr. R.N. Ravi?
Every case has its own way of looking into it. This
but
issue is
but Mr. One minute, sir. You're confused. I'll tell you what the confusion is, Mr. Maulana. First of all, you don't know what stand to take because your party colleagues have taken a completely different stand in Kerala. Because you see, the Congress is in opposition. It suits you there.
As to what? See, with this ADMK, Sasikala issue is there. Oh, why did Vidyasagar Rao not call them to form a government?
I can answer.
See, things are being changed according to their situation.
But leave it to the wisdom of the governor, Kovai Satyan.
Yeah, she sent the letters taking claim for the post of CM, but it was kept in abeyance because the judgment on a case was about to come in 3 or 4 days' time, and governor's conviction turned out to be true. She was convicted. In such case, a governor cannot call somebody to form the governor. So let's face facts and on merits. Let's argue on merits and facts. Let's not build narratives to suit one's own agenda. And it is no new to DMK or Congress. They will try their best to spin a narrative that will suit their agenda. They will never discuss on facts and merits.
Now, Mr. Dharnidharan, we spoke to K. Annamalai. He said, look, the governor made a suggestion that this is a needless controversy and the DMK is doing this to deflect from real issues.
What real issues, sir? The state is being administered really well in spite of the impediments which the governor is causing. The investments are flowing in. TNS has received the next highest increase in investment across India. Law and order is much better compared to 2016 to 21. I'm talking data. I'm not going into single cases. You can talk about there are aberrations in law and order, I know, but if you look at the overall data from 2021 May to now, Tamil Nadu is doing 10 times better than what it was during ADMK BJP's alliance partner. The state's finance, which was really bad, has now improved under DMK. For the first time in 8 years, we are becoming revenue surplus state. The revenue deficit started reducing for the first time in 8 years. There is no problem.
The governance is so good that you are resorting to, misusing the office of governor to settle scores with the DMK.
No, I'm not saying that. You are saying that governor is the one who's coming and provoking us repeatedly.
No, but
I've
you
been
said
saying
in
for
the
last
beginning,
18 months back,
Dharnidharan, you said in the beginning that this is a ploy by the centre. The centre is misusing the governor's office to target the government. Now you're saying no.
No, I'm not saying, I am saying both. I am saying the union government has set an agenda to the governors of non-BJP rule state to disturb the state governments there. Issue 1. Issue 2, this governor, that is R.N. Ravi, is disturbing, as per the union wishes, the incumbent DMK government here. He is causing embarrassment to us. He is speaking distorted history, which is not true. He is going and speaking against evidence without any data. He is violating all the constitutional norms. Justice Nagesh
constitutional norms are being violated, Mr. Selvam. That's the charge. Constitutional norms are being violated by the governor, and all this is being done at the behest of the BJP, that is the party in centre.
So today the people's money which was being spent on convening the assembly was utterly put to waste and put to shame. It was very simple. Today the DMK, just to hide their deficits in various fields and departments, all these numbers he's talking about is all prior to 2021 when the ADMK-BJP alliance was in the state. Now they're just trying to showcase, they're known as a sticker party in Tamil Nadu. So whatever the central government does, all DMK does is go puts a sticker on and says it's a state government projects. So they are known for, they're very famous for that, and that's what they're doing at this point again. So today the entire speech they wanted to make the governor come out and praise the DMK so they can claim victory and they can claim all the success. That was the internal idea of the DMK. Unfortunately, they have a strong man in the governor, Sri R.N. Ravi, refused to read what was given to him because he was smart enough, he had a brain of his own to decide what was right, what was wrong, just like how Mr. Sriram had mentioned a little earlier.
But there is more to it because the motion of thanks begins, the 2-day session begins tomorrow, and the governor is also holding a press briefing at about 10:30 a.m. in the morning. So we will know from the governor of what he thought of what happened today, what transpired in the assembly. I thank all of you for joining us on debate number 1. Viewers, let's talk about the emergency in Joshimath. With every passing hour, the hopes of residents of Joshimath are sinking, giving way to rising fear and panic. As state disaster and relief forces ensure evacuation of residents, it is a Hobson's choice for the locals, like living a nightmare. With tears in their eyes and their belongings in their hands, they ask, what is our fault?
Evacuation process has started in Joshimath, and the people who are living in danger areas are being shifted to makeshift relief camps over here. Right now we are reporting from one such relief camp, and you can see over here that in this particular room the belongings which are there for this lady have been kept, and they have been given this particular room over here. Now it's very difficult for them to leave their own house, which is on the verge of collapse, and live in this particular one room, but it seems as of now they do not have any other option.
हमारे घर में तो बेहिसाब करा रहे हैं, आगे पीछे जाना लायक है ही नहीं हुआ, क्या करना? वैसे 10 कमरे छोड़ के 10 कमरे है, 2 मंजिले है,
10 कमरे 2 मंजिला, और यहाँ पे आपको पूरे परिवार को एक कमरे में रहना पड़ रहा है।
कमरे में रहना पड़ रहा है, सामान कहीं कभी बिखेरा, इतना सामान क्या है, इतना जिंदगी बुढ़े की कमाई सब जितने आए
सब इसी कमरे में,
बच्चे सब यहीं एडजस्ट हो रहे, बगल के भी सब लोग यहीं पे वो आ रहे इसी एक ही बिस्तर में। कहाँ बेटा, हमारे पहाड़ में तो इतना वो है, पर्दा होता है बहू बेटियों का, आज ऐसे हालत में रहना पड़ रहा है। बहू बेटियां ऐसे हम भेड़ बकरियों की तरह रह चुके हैं। मुश्किल क्या मुश्किल होना, जो 2 मंजिल में ना ही हमारे किराए में दे रखे थे, आदमी रिटायर आए तो पूरे पैसे वहाँ लगाए, लूनिंग लानिंग कई चीजें, कहाँ से क्या करेंगे? बच्चे बेरोजगार हैं, पढ़ाई लिखाई की तो कहाँ नौकरी, कहाँ क्या।
2 तारीख से 3 तारीख तक ये खतरा हो गई, पूरे दरार आ गए हमारे मकान पर। अब कहाँ जाऊँ? सरकार ने बोल दिया खाली करो, वहाँ आज हम खाली कर रहे हैं,
लाल निशान लगा दिया, आज खाली कर रहे हैं,
आज खाली कर रहे हैं, वो लाल निशान लगा दिया। अब सामान यहीं रह रहे, कहाँ खाली एक कमरे में रख रहे सब फिट करके। कल को ये पूरी मकान नीचे चल जाएंगे। 11 आदमी की परिवार है, कहाँ जाऊँ हम, क्या करो। इतनी मुश्किल हो गई, बड़ी मुश्किल से बनाया हमने मकान, कैसे कैसे करके बनाया। अब क्या करो, क्या ये मुश्किल हो गई। सरकार भी देगी तो देगी ना, कहाँ जाऊँ, कहाँ गाय ले जाऊँगा। अब सरकार तो देगी, जहाँ देगी।
क्या
तो
उम्मीद करते हैं आप अभी सरकार से, क्या चाहते हैं सरकार?
हम सोचेंगे जोशीमठ बचेगी तो हम यहीं रहेंगे, अपनी भूमि छोड़ के नहीं जा सकते।
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Munna Singh Chauhan, MLA and spokesperson of the BJP, Manu Bhatnagar, Principal Director of the Natural Heritage Division, Intact, Advocate Rohit Dandrial, petitioner in the Joshimath case, and Lokesh Jindal, Congress leader, completes the panel. Now, while a political blame game between the BJP and Congress is on, we don't want to get into that straight away. Let me bring in Mr. Rohit Dandrial. Mr. Dandrial, was it left too late? Is this not a man-made disaster? Who should answer?
This is a perfectly man-made disaster. In our petition, we already mentioned this, that this petition deal with the problem of Joshimath. We see in the clips, we all know what going on in Joshimath right now. So we find the bone of contention is the power project, which is run by the Ministry of Power through NTPC. Approx 3,000 crore is invested by the Ministry of Power in Uttarakhand. Apart from this, 13,000 crores is also invested by Ministry of Road in Uttarakhand. So it's my basic question to Ministry, why they are investing so much money in Uttarakhand, in this hilly area, in the name of development. But when the cost of development was bear by the normal people, where are these ministries? Why any active committee was not set up by these ministries? I wrote one letter to the relevant ministry like Ministry of Power and Ministry of Road and Highways that please constitute a high level committee. I wrote this letter on 6th of this month that please form this committee, but no reply from their side till now. I called several times to the ministry that it's a SOS situation. Why you are not doing this as soon as possible, but no reply from the ministry. So finally I decide I will move to the High Court. Today I mentioned this matter before the Honorable Court. Court said this matter is also pending before Supreme Court. First we will see if Supreme Court will not hear this matter, we will hear this matter thereafter. So there is a hope from the High Court. If Supreme Court will not listen this, not take this matter, then High Court definitely consider this matter, because this is because the maximum amount invested by the ministry only in Uttarakhand, because everything was done by ministry only, the land belongs to ministry only. So it's a ministry duty, because the huge investment done by the ministry, it can't be done by without survey. So where are these reports of survey that this land is good?
Okay. We'll ask those questions of the BJP spokesperson also, but Mr. Bhatnagar, we've spoken about this in the past, and I want you to break this down for our viewers. Were the authorities both in the state and at the center waiting for these tracts to show up? Did they not know that this is about to happen? What were they waiting for?
See, what they were waiting for, they alone can tell you. But the signs of this disaster were available much before. We all know that the various committees right from 1976 have weighed against the development in this area. Such heavy investments are taking place. The nature of the infrastructure being development is absolutely against all geological norms. You would be surprised to know that it's not just the Vishnugarh tunnel below the town which may be the cause of the problem. we are making a railway line all the way up to Joshimath. Joshimath will be the last railway station of that line. And that line is also involving tunneling, dynamiting and so on. We are having a ropeway from Joshimath to Oli. Do you know that the development of that ropeway has been suspended because all those pylons which are being put up for it, they are developing cracks, right? So all the indications are there. So why anybody should wait for disaster to strike is beyond my imagination. Prevention is always better than cure. And today we are no longer in a position to prevent anything. While you may take away 600 people or 600 houses and settle them somewhere else temporarily, I don't think there's any scope for them coming back.
But so, which is why I asked who will answer for this.
Who are staying.
Munna Singh Chauhan, who will answer for this? When the expert team reaches tomorrow and when people question them,
this is not
how
the
will
time
they
to
answer?
really go into so much of a scientific and technical details. But as one of the panelists has rightly commented that it was way back in the 70s when this kind of a sinking and the descendants of the land had started, and one Misra committee was constituted, and the Misra committee in 76 made a recommendation that no heavy construction should be made on this Joshimath area. And 46 years have passed since then, and no action was taken. So, but this is not the right time to, enter into this kind of a political blame game. You see, today, because people of Joshimath are passing through a very difficult, very, very difficult, extraordinary difficulty they are facing. So, the immediate responsibility of the government and the administration is to respond to their call. And the state government, under the leadership of the Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami, responded with the lightning speed, and the Chief Minister himself camping there, and a whole lot of line of administration has been, and the people have been evacuated to safer places, given shelter, medicine, healthcare, and clothing, food, everything, and then certain amount of ex gratia to meet their emergency demand. But let me tell you, as many of the panelists have said, when this kind of a sinking of a land started, that time NTPC project was not there. And I was going through the reports of the panel of experts even today, starting from National Building Research Institute, Geological Institute of India, the National Remote Sensing Institute, Hyderabad, and Geological Survey of India, Wadia Institute of Himalayan Geology. No single expert committee could come to the conclusion with the finality that this situation has come about because of a tunnel. Yes, but many of the expert committee had very clearly mentioned that unplanned growth, unscientific construction.
Even the Supreme Court had said so. While it allowed the construction, it said that beware of the mindless expansion. Lokesh Jindal wants to come in. Lokesh Jindal, the BJP is saying that look, Mr. Dhami is doing a great job. He is doing it at a lightning speed. You must answer for this because this was neglected over decades.
Yes, this is true. This was neglected over decades.
Yeah.
And the responsibility lies for everyone. But let me tell you, what is the immediate need of the hour? Immediate need of the hour is to save the lives of the people. So they have been moved to a safer
Let him answer now. That's the charge you made.
Prefabricated
yes, Mr. Jindal.
Ordered, they will be shifted to those housing. Now, thereafter we will start
I am required to answer
it. Rehabilitation. Rehabilitation, when we talk about...
Okay, sir, we'll get there also. Let's hear from Mr. Lokesh Jindal. Lokesh Jindal, answer for your failures over the decades.
Animal husbandry, including farming, that is really a very difficult job and likely to take a very long time.
Tell me, in 2021, when the Chamoli flash floods occurred in February, it was followed by an April report by IIT Ropar, whereby Dr. Reet Kamal Tiwari, he was given the best paper award because he predicted that severe damage in Chamoli district, especially in the area around Joshimath and land. And after that, sir, please.
No, let's not talk over each other, sir. Please, I'll come back to you. Mr. Chauhan, you've made your point, sir. He was not talking over you. Give him a chance to respond to what you just said. I'll come back to you. You will get your time. Mr. Chauhan, please. Let's not do this, sir. Please.
Now, when I'm talking about,
This
there
is not
were
the time
reports
to
which were,
do a kind of a this kind
there
of
were
political.
reports.
मुन्ना सिंह चौहान,
Cautioned you what is.
उनको बोलने दीजिए सर, मैं आपके पास आऊंगा जवाब लेने, आपने कुछ पॉइंट्स रखे उसके जवाब दे रहे हैं वो.
But did you take any preventive course of action? No. And even now, at this stage, your STM Kumkum Joshi is threatening the residents that if you don't come right now,
Nobody
if you
is
don't
threatening
evacuate
that.
right
Please,
now,
please, for
later
God's
you
sake,
will come
don't make
back
such
and you will ask
allegation.
for 5,000 rupees. Is
You
this
and
the
me
way in
are
which
not
your
the better
administration
experts
treats
than
the
the
residents
experts
of
of the
Chamoli? Is this the way
Building
the
Research
administration is
Institute,
supposed
experts
to
of the
treat the people
DSI,
who are
experts
being
of the Remote Sensing
evacuated? They
Institute
are
of
not
India,
government employees.
experts of the
These people are not
Archaeology
government employees that they would be
experts of the
shifted to some other people and some transfer shall take place. They have built their homes with years of labor and hard work. The government should have a plan on paper as to how to relocate them, how to compensate them, whatever they have lost for. But what you have is only and only sermons and propaganda for yourself. At this point of time, you should assure all the residents what you are going to do.
This long period
Rather than carrying out your propaganda.
Okay, what should be done, Mr. Munna Singh Chauhan?
Congress party government.
What will the state government do?
76 to 91,
What do you plan to do at the lightning speed that you just mentioned?
How dare you? How dare
Why didn't you take any step? Who stopped you?
How dare you put up?
Again, you were a government in the state as well, also after the creation of a new state.
No, but Mr. Jindal, look, you know, Mr. Jindal, all very well for you or your party to single out the BJP. The truth is that both the BJP and the Congress must today form a panel that goes to Joshimath and with folded hand tenders an apology, because both the parties have let down people.
What I intend to say over here is stop politics at this point.
We are
Look
not.
at what is happening.
We are 100% with the people of Joshimath. The state government and the central government under the leadership
No, Mr. Chauhan, no, 1 minute. No, 1 minute. No, 1 minute, Mr. Chauhan. Now tell me, your party is in power. Your party is in power, has been in power for some time. What steps have you taken in the last few years? No, what steps have you taken in the last few years to stop this? And I'll bring in Rohit Dandriyal on things that the state could have done.
Asking me?
I am listening all the things.
नहीं दंद्रियाल जी, आप खुल के बोलिए, आपको घबराना नहीं है, आपको डरना नहीं है.
What's going on?
आप खुल के बोलिए, आप ये बताइए लोगों को, लोग जानना चाहते हैं कि ये जो दोनों पार्टियां हैं जो आज लड़ रही हैं टीवी पे, एक दूसरे को ब्लेम कर रही है, इन्होंने
This is happening over a period of time.
हाँ, but see, you can't escape accountability.
अभी जान बचानी तो जरूरी है. Don't you think we are having a responsibility to protect?
अरे भैया, आपको किसने रोका था कुछ करने के लिए?
Okay, let's not trivialize this. We're discussing something very serious. 1 minute. Last word, Rohit Dandriyal, 30 seconds.
अगर
बोलिए दंद्रियाल जी बोलिए.
Yes. See, what is need of the hour की नीड ये है कि हम लोगों को ये समझना होगा कि हमें वहां पे लोगों की मदद करनी है, बिकॉज दे नीड अस इन दिस टाइम by monetary, by any kind of thing, but they need us in this time. But what we are doing, we are fighting with like this is done by you only, this is done by that only.
I think you've summed it up. That's really well said. The need of the hour is to put people above politics. Lokesh Jindal and Munna Singh Chauhan, you know, we can have this political fight and the political war after this is resolved. I'm completely out of time. Mr. Bhatnagar, Mr. Chauhan, Mr. Dandriya, Lokesh Jindal, thank you for joining us. Let's just pray for the people of Joshimath.
The News Hour at 10 will be right back after the break.
इनकेस आप मिलेनियम वाली जनरेशन से हैं तो आपने शायद वो गाना सुना होगा, देखा जो तुझे यार दिल में बजी गिटार. सो कुछ ऐसे अगर आप मूड में हैं तो यहाँ पे ये गिटार की स्ट्रिंग्स टाइप दी गई हैं, एग्जैक्टली स्ट्रिंग नहीं है बट
You're watching the News Hour at 10.
Supreme Court refused to scrap panels formed by Gujarat and Uttarakhand to bring in uniform civil code. Said state has power to set up committees for matters on which they make laws. As thousands of lives continue to remain affected by the Joshimath tragedy, locals hit the streets protesting against the administration for not looking after their demands. Court will hear the plea filed by Swami Saraswati seeking immediate intervention of the top court to provide urgent relief to people of Joshimath tomorrow. 3 days after brawl in MCD House over mayor polls, AAP staged a protest against BJP outside the BJP headquarters. BJP also staged a counter-protest by marching to CM Kejriwal's residence. Some leaders were detained and police used water cannons to disperse crowd.
The News Hour at 10 will be right back after the break.
The smartphone category in India is anyway popular, right? उसमें भी जो 20 से 25 हजार वाले स्मार्टफोन्स हैं वो और भी ज्यादा पॉपुलर हैं। शायद इसीलिए Infinix ने आज अपना 020 स्मार्टफोन लॉन्च कर दिया है। I have the smartphone with me right here और इसको आज करेंगे अनबॉक्स। Hi, you're watching Gadget Time. This is me, Pavni Jain, and it's time for me to unbox this device और देखते हैं फोन में आपको क्या-क्या contents दिखाई देंगे। Let's begin.
You're watching the News Hour at 10.
While hearing the plea on forced conversion, the Supreme Court observed that religious conversion is a serious issue that should not be given a political color. A few days after the shocking incident of urination in a drunk state on board an Air India flight, 2 passengers have been arrested for consuming alcohol in a Patna-bound Delhi Indigo flight. In the ICICI Bank Videocon loan fraud case, Bombay High Court has allowed release of former ICICI CEO Chanda Kochar and husband Deepak Kochar from judicial custody after CBI arrest, saying arrest not in accordance with the law. Kolkata hosted India's first G20 meet with representatives of 19 countries. The first global partnership for financial inclusion was also attended by West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. Dense fog throws life out of gear in North India, including in the national capital. 4 lives lost in an accident on Agra-Lucknow Expressway.
Let's get it started, yeah, you know it's game time. Ain't no excuses tolerated while you can't grind. It's like you're on the job, you know that team.
हेलो एवरीवन, ये है बजाज की नई पल्सर P150। इन केस यू वंडरिंग 150 ऑलरेडी मौजूद है, तो इस P वर्जन को लाने का कारण क्या है, मतलब क्या है? सो कारण बहुत सारे हैं, डिजाइन को लेकर, फीचर्स को लेकर और कुछ हद तक परफॉर्मेंस को लेकर भी इस P वर्जन में बदलाव देखने को मिलते हैं। तो क्या है वो सारे बदलाव इस नई पल्सर P150 में, उन सभी के बारे में मैं आपसे बात करने वाला हूं इस रिव्यू के अंदर। और रिव्यू के एंड में बात करेंगे 3 धांसू और 3 नॉट धांसू एलिमेंट्स मुझे क्या लगते हैं इस बजाज पल्सर P150 के बारे में। अब डिजाइन की बात करें तो यहां पर जो नयापन देखने को मिल रहा है, स्पेशली ओवरऑल 150 जो पल्सर है उसके मुकाबले इन टर्म्स ऑफ डिजाइन पूरी आपको ये P150 देखने को मिलेगी, लेकिन आपको ओवरऑल जो एसेंस है डिजाइन का वो इसमें N160 वाला देखने को मिलने वाला है। फ्रंट हालांकि अलग है यहाँ पे, लेकिन अब इसमें P150 में प्रोजेक्टर हेडलैम्प्स दिए गए हैं एंड इसमें DRLs भी यहाँ पर इसमें देखने को मिलते हैं। अग्रेसिव, स्पोर्टी एंड शार्प एलिमेंट्स इसके डिजाइन में यहाँ पर देखने को मिल रहे हैं एंड साइड प्रोफाइल जो ओवरऑल है वो आपको N160 वाला ही झलक थ्रू आउट इसके साइड प्रोफाइल में देखने को मिलने वाला है। टैंक से लेकर इसके रियर पैनल्स यहाँ तक जो जाते हैं तो ओवरऑल वो लुक कुछ वैसा ही है, लेकिन अग्रेसिव और शार्प काफी है इन टर्म्स ऑफ डिजाइन पहले के मुकाबले लग रही है। देन पल्सर की बड़ी सी ब्रांडिंग यहाँ दी गई है एंड यहाँ काउल अलग से देखने को मिल रहा है टैंक पे एंड देयर इज बेली पैन जो यहाँ पे नीचे दिया गया है जो बॉडी कलर के हिसाब से दिया गया है एंड P150 की ब्रांडिंग यहाँ पर इसमें देखने को मिल रही है। सीट जो है इसमें स्प्लिट सीट्स आती हैं, इसमें दो वेरिएंट हैं SD और TD एंड जो इसका स्टार्टिंग वेरिएंट है SD उसमें सिंगल सीट है, इसमें जो है जो टॉप वेरिएंट है इसका उसमें TD सीट दी गई है। दोनों वेरिएंट में जो अंतर हैं कुछ मैं बताता हूँ आपको कौन कौन से हैं। एक तो सीट का हो गया, दूसरा ये जो वर्जन है इसमें क्लिप ऑन हैंडल बार्स आते हैं थोड़ा स्पोर्टी स्टांस के लिए, लेकिन जो SD वर्जन है उसमें जो है सिंगल फ्रेम दिया गया है हैंडल बार का तो वो थोड़ा अपराइट पोजीशनिंग के साथ उसका स्टांस रखा गया है एंड उसके अलावा जो ब्रेक्स हैं डिस्क ब्रेक्स हैं इसमें जो है ड्यूअल डिस्क ब्रेक मिलती हैं एंड दूसरे वेरिएंट में सिंगल डिस्क ब्रेक दी गई है। सिंगल चैनल ABS दोनों ही वेरिएंट में मिलता है, उसमें कोई कटौती नहीं करी गई है एंड ये कुछ चेंजेस यहाँ पर इन टर्म्स ऑफ बोथ वेरिएंट्स इन दोनों P150 के दोनों वर्जन्स में देखने को मिलते हैं। इसके अलावा रियर में भी टेल लाइट जो है LED इस्तेमाल करी गई है, हालांकि इंडिकेटर्स आगे पीछे हेलोजन बल्ब का इस्तेमाल यहाँ पर देखने को मिल रहा है। सो स्टांस स्पोर्टी अग्रेसिव पहले के मुकाबले पल्सर 150 के मुकाबले यहाँ पर देखने में जरूर लग रहा है एंड यस ओवरऑल डिजाइन भी पहले से बेहतर जरूर इसका देखने में लग रहा है। इसके अलावा यहाँ पर एक USB चार्जिंग पॉइंट इसमें दिया गया है। हैंडल बार में लेफ्ट साइड में यहाँ पे हाई बीम लो बीम पास स्विच इंडिकेटर एंड हॉर्न स्विच एंड राइट साइड में इंजन किल स्विच इग्निशन स्विच यहाँ पर देखने को मिल रहा है एंड इस P150 में जो एग्जॉस्ट टेल है वो अंडर बेली दिया गया है, बजाय एक्सपोज एग्जॉस्ट टेल जो होता है उसके बजाय यहाँ पर इसकी अंडर बेली में ये एग्जॉस्ट टेल देखने को मिलता है इस P150 में। एंड जो इसका डिस्प्ले है वो भी पल्सर 150 के मुकाबले अलग यहाँ देखने को मिलने वाला है। एनालॉग प्लस डिजिटल का मिक्सचर यहाँ देखने को मिल रहा है एंड स्पीडोमीटर इसका एनालॉग दिया गया है एंड डिजिटल में जो इन्फॉर्मेशन है गियर इंडिकेटर ओडोमीटर फ्यूल गेज टाइम टेम्परेचर ये सब इन्फॉर्मेशन यहाँ पे इसके डिजिटल कंसोल में देखने को मिल रहा है। ABS की लाइट एंड इंजन लाइट बैटरी लाइट साइड स्टैंड इंडिकेटर भी यहाँ पे इसमें दिया गया है। तो ये कुछ मामला यहाँ पे इस बजाज की नई पल्सर P150 के डिजाइन और कुछ फीचर्स में देखने को मिलता है जो पल्सर 150 में देखने को नहीं मिलते हैं। यस एक और जो एडिशनल चीज मैं बताना भूल गया, जो कंपैरिजन दोनों वेरिएंट्स में है, टायर के साइज का भी फर्क दोनों में देखने को मिलता है। इसमें जो है 17 इंच 90 सेक्शन फ्रंट में दिया गया है एंड रियर में जो टायर दिया गया है वो है 17 इंच 110 सेक्शन का। जो दूसरा वेरिएंट है उसमें 100 सेक्शन का टायर देखने को मिलता है रियर में। In terms of design, overall feel, in terms of features, पल्सर 150 के मुकाबले ये काफ़ी नई बदली हुई और फ्रेश ज़रूर देखने में लगती है। हालांकि बजाज का कहना है कि 150 पल्सर ऑलरेडी बिकती रहेगी और साथ ही साथ इसको भी बेचा जाएगा। मे बी लॉन्ग टर्म में उसको बंद कर दिया जाए, देन इसको ही कंटिन्यू आगे रखा जाएगा, इसकी सेल्स अच्छी देखने को मिलती हैं। अब इसमें जो इंजन दिया गया है 150 सीसी का कंपेयर टू पल्सर 150, इस P150 में इंजन में भी थोड़े बहुत बदलाव किए गए हैं एंड जो इसका फ्रेम है वो भी बदला हुआ पल्सर 150 के मुकाबले देखने को मिलता है। तो राइड क्वालिटी, हैंडलिंग, परफॉर्मेंस कैसी इस नई बजाज की पल्सर P150 में देखने को मिलती है, आगे बढ़ते हैं, बात करते हैं उसकी।